What is up, movie nerds? Welcome back to the Movie Nerd James YouTube channel for a very special podcast episode talking about my favorite horror franchise of all time in cinema, The Evil Dead. And I have joining me for this episode two sexy deadites with me. From What the Fuck Are You Watching podcast, we have Chloe Parks and Silus Massoff. Welcome, guys.
Howdy.
Hi.
And let me get the boring stuff out of the way. So we have the layout of the show. And I have time codes below as well. We're doing a quick breakdown of all the Evil Dead films so far in the release date order. And then we will not be discussing and breaking down the 3 seasons of Ash vs. the Evil Dead. We're just talking about the filmography of Evil Dead. But I will reference in some fashion, I'm sure, when it comes to details about the lore in the world. And then, of course, too, with the TV show, not talking about that, of course, like any spin-off comic books, anything like that, we don't count as canon, and we won't make any references to that either as well. So, and then afterwards we have some fun Evil Dead questions, and then a personal power ranking of what we think ours for the 5 films are, and then we have a pre-game discussion for the upcoming film releasing this year is Evil Dead Burn. And then before we go further, this is a spoilers. We are talking spoilers for all these films. So if you have not seen Evil Dead 1981, Evil Dead 2 1987, Army of Darkness, and then the 2013 Evil Dead, or Evil Dead Rise, we are talking spoilers for this film. So that is your warning from up top. And I always forget to say this at the beginning of all my podcast episodes. I gotta get better at doing this. Is always make sure you guys show some love for this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up, like, and then make sure you subscribe and follow the Movie Nerd James on Instagram at Movie Nerd James, where I post almost daily. Post on there. And then of course we have the YouTube channel for our long format episodes of podcast, and it is at Movie Nerd James YT. And make sure you subscribe and follow, and I appreciate all your support. And Silas, where can people find What the Fuck Are You Watching podcast?
I think it's on pretty much every format, but we pay attention to Spotify and YouTube at What the Fuck Are You Watching. There's also an Instagram page. Chris has one for the main podcast. Lisa has one for herself. So you can follow them on there, or you can follow me at my Instagram at Psychonaut. Yeah. And Chloe at her Instagram.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so let's get into the first film, guys. Like I said, we're gonna do this in release date order. I'm fucking super pumped right now. So, we have the classic. We have From the Top. We have Sam Raimi's the 1981 The Evil Dead. All right, so where do we start, guys? So, my curiosity is with you two. What is this? Was this your introduction to the franchise? Was the 1981?
Yeah. Yes.
That was yours?
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. What about you, James?
It was, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Damn, not me.
I watched I watched
watch?
this and The Exorcist in the same week.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Damn, double.
I don't know what I did to
feature.
myself.
Yeah, I think that might have, broken you.
Yeah.
No, my first introduction was the 2013, was the remake. Josh Miner had showed it to
okay.
me. That was the first
okay.
of any of the Evil Dead stuff I saw.
So you're a poser.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool. All right. And then so the first time ever that I ever saw the Evil Dead film, it was like basically the spark of not only Sam Raimi, who made me fall in love with films, but it was also like it made me want to become a filmmaker. Like I was sitting there, I was like down in the fucking rut, like dirty fucking like filmmaking, and I was like, fuck yeah, man. And then it's so inspiring too, because like you just go grab a fucking camera and do stuff, man. Mm-hmm. And it was just so experimental. And then Sam Raimi, who dropped out of college to pursue his dream of this, and then he actually ended up going door to door with Bruce Campbell. They put their fucking suits on, trying to get people to, donate to the film. And the actual short film that they would show people to get them to donate to it was called Within the Woods, and it actually is on YouTube right now, the actual short and everything. So
I think I've got a bootleg of that too.
Yeah, I was like, I watched it. I loved it. It's so bad but so awesome at the same time, because they're just like, this was the birth of the Evil Dead, and Bruce Campbell's in it, all that stuff. So, and they went together, they went to high school together and all that stuff. So it was just really cool how see that relationship goes along. And then I know I just got done talking today. We're at the opening weekend of Obsession right now, which was made on a $750,000 budget, and it's like killing it at the box office. And Evil Dead was made on a $375 million budget. So it's just like so cool and inspirational to see shit like that. But did you guys know anything about? I think you said you watched it and stuff. Did you know anything about the Within the Woods?
Yeah, that and some of his like older stuff, like the what is it, Attack of the Hamburger Helper and stuff like that.
Yeah, I didn't know about that stuff until way later, but I watched The Evil Dead when I was way too young. Way too young.
Oh, no.
And this movie, I gotta be real, it still scares me to this day.
Yeah.
I rewatched it last night in the wee hours. I mean, it wasn't super late, but I was kind of delirious because I was hungover and I felt awful. And I was watching Evil Dead and I was just like, damn, this movie is creepy as fuck. And it has such a dreadful, dour atmosphere, and it just gets so like lonely and claustrophobic, especially when it dwindles down to just ash. Like, oh my god, it's such a scary fucking movie. It's like still scary to this day. But I love all the early stuff now, but I didn't know about any of that until way later. But The Evil Dead was a reigning king for me as far as formative horror. It's one of those first movies I felt like I simultaneously loved with my whole heart, but was also like always a little scared to rewatch again as a kid. You know, it's like one of those like facing your fears kind of movies.
It's like not going to the basement door because you know something's down there to get you. It's like pulling that out of the VHS. I was just like, do I want to do this to myself?
Yeah, because it spooked me out every time I watched it. It's such a spooky movie.
Yeah, and no, it was really cool too. Back to when they did the Within the Woods, is they made that short on a $1,600 budget, and it's just so cool because it just shows that, like, you know, you want to make your dreams, get out there and do the damn thing. So it was really cool to see that. And then Roger Tappert, which I wanted to give a shout out to him too, because Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell, and Roger Tappert, they were the one that raised the $375. They went to dentists, like trucking companies, like things like that, any donations to get it. And they and even Bruce Campbell's father allowed them to give them a loan against their property so they could actually take the original film and blow it up from 16 millimeter to 35 millimeter so it could actually play in theaters. So it's just like the coolest shit ever. And but no, Tom Filio and Raimi, they invented the famous iconic shaky cam, is what they titled it as. But I always thought it was called the snaking camera,
like point of view shots.
Yeah. So it was like they invented that, and I actually looked it up and I was curious. I was like, is that, you know, are they the ones that invented that? And I googled, I was like, who invented the shaky cam? And it was like, the shaky cam was invented in 1981. That was done by Sam Raimi from the Evil. I'm like, fuck yeah, man. So it just showing that because it's iconic. I think every single Evil Dead has that iconic shot.
Yeah, the actual evil force moving through the trees and coming towards a character and stuff. Yeah, there were so many things rewatching it again last night. It's insane to see how inspired that movie really was, as far as like everything it was brushing shoulders with at the time. Not that, you know, there were a ton of awesome movies in that era, but like, good God, for like a low budget horror movie, as far as that goes, like The Evil Dead just had some insane ideas and insane technical ideas, even separate from the ideas of like the script or the story or the effects or whatever. And it just blows me away how well it executes them for like a first like formal outing of a movie. Like, it blows my mind how great everything comes across. And I love that movie, warts and all. I love all the weird continuity issues and all the like strange things that happen in it that are just like silly nonsense. But like, man, there's just nothing like it. There's nothing that evokes the same kind of feeling in me as far as movies go, and that movie has such a palpable like energy to it, as far as like what you can feel from the way it was made and like the energy on set and the chemistry between the people. It's just so good.
Yeah, and what was it? Fucking Scott too. It was you know, and we'll get to Evil Dead 2 here in a little bit, but I always thought too, it was like Scott was kind of the heroic guy for like the first half of that movie.
I really liked Scott. I was like genuinely so even last night too, I was just like, God, it fucking sucks when he dies.
Yeah.
And it's when Ash, he's like starting to like break down because he's trying to like give him water out of the cup, and he's like, hey, it's gonna be sun up in a few hours, then we can all go home. You, me, and Linda and Shelley. Well, not Shelley, because they chopped her up with a fucking axe. But he's like, but hey, don't you want to go home? And the water's just pouring out of his mouth because he finally died. Like, he had been sitting there dying for a while on the couch, and like, it was so fucked up because I was just like he's a dick. Like, he's a total douchebag throughout the whole movie. Like, he's kind of he takes his jokes too far. He's like a mean asshole, but like, he's also at the same time, it's like, he seems like the most capable out of everybody, even more than Ash, because Ash is a little more timid than Scotty is. Scotty's like, I'm getting out of here, I don't give a fuck. He goes out on his own, out into the woods, gets his ass handed to him, and still manages to stumble his way back to the cabin. And then he just like slowly dies on the couch, bleeding out or whatever, and it's just, man, rough.
Well, it's like you said too, it's like most of the time, like, they interpret the a-hole, and then when the shit goes down, they come cowardly. That guy was like, oh, no, we gotta get this shit done. Like, ended up chopping up and everything. But yeah, like,
he had to chop up his fucking girlfriend.
It's
crazy.
Nuts. But no, back to the shaky cam too. I thought the really cool thing, and once again, this is just how inspiring this the filmmaking aspect is Tim Filippo. When they invented the shaky cam, which I call the snake cam and all that stuff, but all they did was just put like a 2x4, and then they mounted the camera on. So when it like goes over the bushes and shit, like, they got one guy on each side goes over, and like I said, it's a fucking 2x4 that you can buy for $3 at the local lumber store, and then they're just making shit happen. So it's awesome.
Absolutely amazing effect.
Was this your guys' like first introduction? Because it was my first introduction of object horror, if that makes sense, like the Book of the Dead.
Oh,
I was just like the movie's not very good, but like most recently they had like a whistle movie.
Yeah, it definitely had to be for me.
This was my first introduction of that. So was that you?
No. I said, I was a late bloomer on this one. I hadn't been introduced to anything Evil Dead until my 20s. So that was not my first introduction to that type of horror, but it's a good one.
Yeah, and and this is just pulling from the lore of the overall franchise. They don't give you much lore to the Book of the Dead, except what's in the recording as well. But long ago, it was known as the Dark Ones ruled the Earth, and they were pulled into this mirror dimension. And basically, there's tools that were left behind that can pull them into the realm and allow the Deadites to possess people, and that is the Book of the Dead. And then we also get the Kondarian dagger, so as well. But and then this is one of the things too. It's like, I kind of think this is what put it on the level and stuff like that, because how dark it was is the tree attack scene.
So I was telling Chloe about this the other night. Obviously, like, it's not, you can't ever just define something this concrete, because movies and media and like the changing of art tropes and things changes like on a continuum. But I've seen a lot of essays and things talking about the Evil Dead, and a lot of people will cite it as the quote-unquote first extreme horror movie. And that's always really interesting to me, because that's a realm of cinema I'm really into. And when I look back on it now and I rewatch it, obviously, there's a bit of like age and camp there as well, but the stuff that happens in it is really fucking insane. And it's really affecting. And like, I was gonna say, as far as like the kind of like psychosexual stuff that happens with like the tree attack thing and the sexuality of that, it's not even the only scene where that happens, because when Linda attacks him outside and he lops her head off, her body is on him and spraying blood from the neck on his face, and it's saying like, come on, come. It's like saying like crazy sex stuff to him, and it's like humping him, like humping his leg and moaning like sex moans, and it's just like, woof. Like that was pretty crazy for a movie of the time. Like, there were always undertones in a lot of like 80s horror of like sexuality, but like that was so overt, like it was so at the forefront. And it really blows my mind that some of that happened.
Yeah, and like you talking about like next levels of horror and everything, because I know a lot of people go to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre at that time, but it's like I always point people to the Evil Dead.
Well, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is like it's crazy with that movie because it has the staying power to like really affect you and do all that, but like I feel like it's one of those weird movies where everybody remembers it way more gruesome than it actually was.
Yeah,
because when you watch it, there's like barely any blood in that movie. It's crazy. It's like it's got such a grimy, nasty atmosphere. It's like really down in the muck, and it like is affecting. But like if you're talking like actually seeing it, the Evil Dead.
Yeah.
It's just like there's so many like visual, it's like they're visual gags, but they're played so straight and they're like upsetting.
Yeah.
It's like when Bruce Campbell is just constantly getting sprayed in the face with fucking gore and guts and sputum and nasty fucking bullshit. And he's just like, oh God, like when he's getting hit in the face with stuff. And it's just like the tagline, the masterclass in grueling horror. It's like, it's so right because I feel like the two that always come to mind for me are The Evil Dead and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre as far as like movies that really just test how much you're willing to sit and listen to and put up with, because it's just like they just attack your senses.
Yeah. Well, I miss that like in the sound design, because especially the Texas Chainsaw Massacre did the same thing too. It's like when she's screaming at the end, it was like it's so much, like even coming through the speakers, it's too much. And the same thing with this. When they fire up the chainsaw and they're screaming and all that stuff, it's just like, it's like sucks the air out of it.
Yeah, like it's an attack.
Yeah,
it's like overwhelming. And that's like part of the design of the film, which is what's so crazy about it.
No, so that cracks me up because I was curious about this. We talked about when we did our top 10 horror movies, we did that Instagram live. And I was very curious. I can't remember what you said, but what your thoughts on the claymations that they do?
Oh, I love it. I think they're scary.
Scary as fuck, yeah.
Like when I was rewatching it last night, I was just like, God, it like took me right back to being like, I don't even know what age I was when I first watched this. Way too young, like less than 10, like 8 maybe or something like that. But if that, but the claymation always scared the fuck out of me. And just the mixed effects of their bodies deteriorating too, with like the breaking
applesauce and shit coming out.
Yeah, stuff coming out of the sleeves. It's so disgusting.
Beetles.
And it's like, you know that it's just like silly stuff, you know, like added to make that effect, but it doesn't matter because it's just so actually effective. And it's like, it's upsetting. It's like still upsetting to this day. I still think it's like so upsetting. And like, it also is just one of those things that for like an indie production, claymation anything adds so much value to what
it's uncanny. It's very like it's like
it's uncanny,
this isn't natural, but
it's also like an extreme laborious effort. Like it's not easy to do that. And they're pretty complex animations too. It's crazy.
And well, that's the thing too. It's like I'm gonna so excited because it's sitting at my house. But I just recently got a poster. And I've never found the Evil Dead poster that actually have the claymations on it. They usually have like them in the makeup and all that stuff, but this one I actually ended up finding this Evil Dead poster I've been looking for 15 years. I finally found it, and it was a zombie con, and it actually has them on there because, like I said, even looking at the poster now, like just so many years later, like 40 plus years, I'm just like, God, it still fucking creeps me out. Even when I flip the light off, I'm like, man, that shit looks still scary in the dark.
Oh, it's super scary. I was thinking about that. About another scene when they had first thrown who was it that got thrown in the basement? Cheryl. Yeah, they threw Cheryl in the basement, and she's trying to come back up, and he's hitting her with the
puppet
butt of the shotgun, and it's this like puppet thing that they're hitting. But it doesn't take me out of it at all because the puppet is scary. It's creepy looking. It's so fucking scary looking. Its fucking face is so scary that like when he's hitting it, I'm just like, I can tell. Obviously, you can tell it's like a silly prop, but it doesn't matter because it's so scary looking that her face makeup changes like all the time throughout the movie. All the time, and it's always more fucked up and scary. Like, it's just one of those things where it's like every effect they do, even the ones that look super obviously like effects, are like harrowing to see. Like, they're actually scary, visceral gory nonsense, and they get you on a deep brain level.
Well, I think it's like it's scary too because the puppet is and the lighting too. Once again, it's Raimi's genius and all that stuff, and it's just like coming out of the abyss. It's like surrounded. by darkness.
Yeah, exactly. That's
and
what makes
just
it
like
so
trying
scary.
to pull you into that abyss, and I'm like,
God.
fuck it.
It's coming out of the darkness.
But no, I one of the things too, like I said, once again, you're gonna hear me. I'm gonna sound like a broken record, throwing out genius and Raimi in the same sentence through this whole thing. But I loved the card trick. I love when they're sitting there doing the cards, like, oh, this is amazing. Obviously, the friend is lying, like,
just
oh,
trying
you're
to gas her
amazing,
up.
and all that stuff. And then it's so fucking
the ESP
creepy.
thing.
Yeah, and she's like, 4 of clubs, 6 of hearts, blah blah blah, and then boom, and it hits. And like I said, she levitates off the ground. Me watching this, I was 9. And I was like, what is happening right now?
Okay, so we did see it roughly around the same age range. Yeah, that was oh, it's so scary. And I love, too, though, I mean, well, obviously we'll get into it with the other films, but, like, I love that they have kept that as a running thing.
Yeah.
As, like, the kind of, like, extra dimensional knowledge that the Deadites will sometimes have, and they'll, like, spout something off that really freaks out the protags or whatever. Yeah, it's super cool. I love that whole
and then,
bit.
Cole, you said you started with the 2013. When you came back and you revisited the original, what was you're pretty far in life, so is there stuff that you found cheesy, or is there anything that,
No,
it still has its effect?
Not at all, because I think when I had watched the original Evil Dead for the first time, I had seen enough other movies to be able to, like, appreciate not the camp, because that's more, like, 2 and onward, but just the thrown together and kind of held together with, like, duct tape and paper clips kind of a thing. Like, you appreciate that so much more once you have more exposure to other, like, bigger budget and lower budget movies. So I was able to get a lot out of it that way. And it was extremely visceral despite its age and despite the effects that you can tell, like, what they are or what's real or what's, it's still, there's something about the mix of just the way it's filmed, the way the effects are played off, the sound design, everything, where it is just visceral.
Yeah.
It's haunting.
Yeah, that's my thing with it. I feel like that movie, like, toward the front end, it has the makings of seeming like this, like, silly, campy little thing, especially with, like, the old, like, like, synth score when the like, basement doors flings open. It's so, like, silly and low rent sounding. But then, like, once things start happening,
it's fucking
it's just a constant escalation.
Yeah.
And it's like toward the end there, it's like when Ash is alone, it's like a really upsetting, claustrophobic, like,
you're exhausted,
psychologically affecting movie, because it's like he's starting the break, he's talking to himself, he's, like, constantly, like, it's like under his breath. It's not even, like, overt, like, line delivery. It's just like him, like, mumbling shit while he, like, reloads the shotgun or does blah 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 blah. And it's really fucked up. I love the part where he goes up to the mirror and it's like he's hearing whispering behind the mirror, and he puts his hand through and it's like a water puddle. And he pulls his hand out and nothing happened. It's just the mirror turned to water.
Yeah.
And he's just like, ah! He's, like, screaming at his hand because he's just like, I'm going fucking insane. Like, it's so crazy. I love it.
Yeah. And that comes into play later in the franchise, too. Once again, like I said, there's not much lore. Obviously, you build that through the trilogy and things like that. But obviously, it showed, too, this mirror dimension is where these demons have leaked through because they read from the Book of the Dead. And, it's genius, man. I'm telling you, man, just like Sam Raimi, what he invented with this, I'm just like, it's fucking crazy. 20 years old.
And not even just that, but there's so many things that are now attributed to being, like, Raimi-isms that you see in other, like, the other Evil Dead movies that he didn't direct. They're still doing things that he would have done.
Yeah,
or you see in his movies that are not the Evil Dead movies. You still see things that you saw the first time in Evil Dead.
Yeah. And then the other cool trick from the card trick, once again, it's just the filmmaking, like, that's genius, and then it pays off in the horrifying way later. And then what I'm talking about is the necklace scene. Is Ash comes up and gives his girlfriend, which was Linda, right? Yeah, Linda, and then gives Linda the necklace, but he's pretending he's asleep, but he's got the box out and everything else, and then she looks over and you got this close-up shot which we talked about. We were talking about Send Help before this podcast. We were talking about the tuna fish being on the mouth. It's just a super close up of the eyes, the mouth, all that stuff. It's just so up close and personal that you see Ash's eyes are asleep, are closed, and then they open up, and then when she goes to look at him, they close real quick and all that stuff. So it's very cute. It's just like, that's adorable.
That's a really wholesome scene.
Exactly. And
then later they do it again.
They do it again.
During the fucking... he's trying to dig her a grave, and it's like closing up on their eyes, and she's like... with her scary white-out demon eyes, and then he looks, and she's like, oh, I'm dead. It's crazy.
It's genius. I was just like, man, it's so fucking good, man. It's
like upsetting too. It's like emotionally affecting because of like where they were just a few hours ago.
Yeah, and the Deadites, what they do is that when they possess too, they weaponize your memories.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what the fucking Deadite was doing. It was just like, oh, I had a little cute moment.
Well, that's what I always think about with Evil Dead stuff. Is what's so crazy is like the Deadites could realistically like overpower and just fuck people up immediately.
They're dickheads. And
but they don't. They just torment you slowly because they can.
Yeah.
And that's like part of the psychological breaking down because they're like feeding on the fear.
That's one of the things I like so much is that they like take their time with you and they're just playing with
their
essentially.
Food. Yeah.
And that when they channel in and like read their thoughts or whatever, have that like knowledge that you were talking about before, and telling them awful things like this happened and it's your fault or something, or like this person left you and they're rotting in hell and that kind of shit.
Yeah,
that would actually like destroy you before you get physically destroyed.
Yeah, and well, it's like the expression you hear all the time. It's like I feel like I'm in hell. No, they're making you feel like you're in fucking hell.
No, literally, like that's
they're bringing hell to you. Like. Just like all that stuff. But no, and the only way to kill a Deadite is by body dismemberment. Or you kill him with a Kandarian dagger as well. So that was really cool. And I love the fucking design of the Kandarian dagger and those skulls.
I love what it does to them in the first one. How they start spewing up all the nasty white goo and shit. It's so disgusting.
And and then like I said, it's Ash makes it to morning. Like you said, he's just sitting there mumbling. He's just mentally, just psychologically, just broken. And he makes it to morning, and then the great cliffhanger. Like I said, I think it's a genius ending and all that stuff. And then because obviously they got a sequel, but in the present of the time of making this film, they didn't know if they were going to get a sequel. This is, like I said, $300,000 budget. Fucking Tennessee woods somewhere, just making this shit, and they didn't know, what was going to become of it in the franchise that it spawned today, because we're 50 years later and we're got a new Evil Dead films coming out.
Dude,
so,
side note, I hate that it's gone now. The cabin is.
I saw that.
But our buddies from Sick on Cinema actually live in like pretty close proximity to that, so they had seen it before. Pretty crazy.
And that's funny you say that, because they did talk about in interviews and everything. That same interview was talking about that entire valley was surrounded by iron ore, so there was constant thunderbolts hitting. Because that iron ore was in the ground.
Oh man!
So that's why when it hit the cabin and it burned down and stuff like that, they were like, it's like what do you call it? What do you call that shit where they say you can't build anything here because it's like a safety violation, but what is it, a safety code or something like that? You can't build buildings.
It's like not zoned.
Like if it's like a swampland, you can't build a factory on there because the shit's gonna sink in the ground eventually. But in that case, it was just like so many years that they built a cabin back there for 100 years.
Right.
So then it finally got burned down. But no, he gets hit with they do the famous shaky cam. It busts through the back door, comes through the cabin and everything, and then it hits Ash, and you think it got him and all that stuff. But obviously you find out with Evil Dead 2 it didn't. But it was just a really cool ambiguous ending. Like, he probably fucking got God. So all that stuff. So I thought it was a genius ending.
That sequence is crazy too.
That
sequence is just insane, where it's like coming from the back of the house in the woods, out through the backyard, into the house, out through the house, breaking all the doors down as it goes, and then straight up into his screaming mouth, and it just like cuts to black. And then the jazz music, when it cuts to the credits, comes back in. It's like it's all upbeat.
I love it.
Oh my god, I remember that being like so. Ugh, like as a kid, because it was another one of those, like, because I was so young, it was one of the first times I'd had that trope of like mixing something that doesn't go with the tone as like an emotional effect thing, like doing that with the music at the end, like ugh.
Yeah, so before we move on to Evil Dead 2, there was a couple of things. Sam Raimi does have a cameo in the film at the very beginning of the film when the two hitchhikers are on the side of the road waving at them. Sam Raimi is sitting there, so that was really cool. The film was actually
screw you, I'm not talking to you.
And then the movie was originally called The Book of the Dead, and then they changed it to Evil Dead, and even Bruce Campbell said, that's the stupidest fucking name ever. That's never going to stick. And then so many years later, it's so iconic, so it's really funny. And then the bullet incident. The reason why I bring this up, they had an interview. Like I said, it's just the chaotic filmmaking that they did with this. I guess there was they needed some B-roll footage that they wanted to get to put in the film. So they went over into a field, and the farmer was like, yeah, you can film over there. He's like, yeah, it's perfect. It's got the good fog. In the morning, it's like super fucking creepy. Can we film over there? He's like, yeah, that's fine, but there's a big-ass bull over there. And he was like... Yeah. He was like, what? He's like, there's a bull, but you can calm her down. You just got to sing to her. So Raimi was telling the story that they got the other crew to go over there and sing to the bull. And they were like, make sure it's a fucking long song or whatever, because we got to get over here. So they snuck the fucking camera equipment under the opposite side of the field and all that stuff. And they were sitting there filming, getting their stuff, and all of a sudden Raimi is like over my shoulder. I kept hearing the bull's loose, and then of course here comes this charging fucking bull. So they're all fucking diving over, going into mud and all that shit. So it's just a hilarious story. But the fucking bull's loose.
That's
so,
crazy.
It's great, but no. Finally, a big shout out, and honestly, it's I will always be in Stephen King's debt because he basically made this film really give it its worldwide spread of this film and stuff like that, because Stephen King's review of this film really blew the doors wide open for this film.
Oh, wow.
And even if you see on the original poster, which is still, I think it's between Silence of the Lambs and Evil Dead, I think is the best posters of all time. But the girl coming out of the ground and then the hand grabbing her by the throat, you'll see Stephen King's quote in the review of the movie and stuff like that, is because Stephen King seen the film, he absolutely loved it, and Raimi was like, oh, could you quote it or whatever, because it really helped the film out and stuff like that. And also fucking Stephen King just seen your film and said he loved it, so I'm just like, holy fuck, I'd be freaking out too. So anyways, yeah, he was like, well, I'm gonna actually write a full page review of it. He's like, you can pull the quote from there. So that's what they did.
Yeah. That's
and
awesome.
Shout out to Stephen King, because like I said, I think that was the adrenaline shot of getting this movie to come to wide existence. And like I said, the rest is history. But anything to add to the 1981 Evil Dead?
One last thing that I absolutely love about this movie is the fact that the exterior, the forest, the fog, the demonic presence out there feels like a character in and of itself. Yep. The fog rolling in and the esoteric chanting, join us, and all that. It's so oppressive, and it really... Also, when you think about how rinky-dink the cabin is, because it's such a small... It's like an old-school cabin. Yeah. It's not it doesn't feel like a home. Yeah. It's like the walls are thin, everything breaks really easily, and it just doesn't feel like any real protection. Yeah. Ugh, God, yeah. The atmosphere of this movie is crazy, and it's partially because the atmosphere is almost a character within itself. Yeah.
Well, it was Bruce said it was what do you call it? It's just basically like a broke down house that the cows could walk through, because that's where the farmer kept the cows, and they said there was just piles of cow shit that they had to shovel out and get it prepared. Crazy. So it's nuts. But no, 1981, just a special film. And like I said, I guess I should have said that at the beginning. I would love to sit down and just we could do a longer format and everything. I would do any of these films. I'd love to sit down and just do a committed episode to any of these films. I'd totally be down for that. But yeah, 1981, it's a special film, and just changed my life, and sounds like it changed your guys' life too. It's crazy. But all right, moving on from Evil Dead in 1981, we go to Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn in 1987. I am gonna be quiet, not really, because
no, you're not.
But I'll let you guys take it away. But
right.
You guys know this is the movie that made me fall in love with movies. Yeah. It changed my life. I'm like, because I loved the 1981 one. It scared the fuck out of me and all that stuff. And then just something in the best way possible, just something radically different, and not different, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean with that. But it is the pure definition of Sam Raimi, I think, is the Evil Dead 2. Yeah. And it is, we talked about with Pan's Labyrinth. If you ever want to see a filmmaker's soul into a film, it's Guillermo del Toro and Pan's that's where that saying came from for me, is if you ever want to see a piece of somebody's soul, it's Evil Dead 2, and that's Sam Raimi. It's just like
magnum opus.
Yeah, it's fucking just perfect every single second to me, and you guys know it's my favorite film of all time. But yeah, and I wish I could just I've said this a million times too, I just wish I could pluck out my own eyes and give them to somebody and see why, through the lens of my eyes, why this movie is so special. But yeah, let's get it started with Evil Dead 2. So take it away, Chloe.
Man,
Y'all take it away. I gotta pee real quick.
Okay, go piss, girl. No, to see this movie again for the first time would be like amazing. I always think about that, but no, it's a classic, and it's definitely, you can see Sam Raimi and like the whole rest of the crew that worked on it kind of figured out, like they just really got their footing a lot more. It seems like, and every shot in it is intentional and well done, and it is like technically a masterpiece despite being like bad in its own way, but that's what makes it so good and charming. Like some of the silly, goofy campness of it, the slapstick, the effects, some of the really silly effects, but they're like leaning into it, and they're self-aware that they're just, man, I don't even know. It's such an anomaly of a movie.
Well, I said too, it's like I've said it before, this movie is put together with newspaper and popsicle sticks. But the glue of the film is bleeding heart. Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
It's bleeding heart, and it's like good technically also, just on a camera work level, on like a directing level. It's a good movie. And
this was the, because Sam Raimi is a big fan of the Three Stooges, and he said he wanted like that Three Stooges type slapstick comedy to it. And
it's very physical.
I think it's like one of the greatest horror comedies ever made, and still to this day.
Oh, without a doubt.
But it was funny because Bruce Campbell, he was actually a big inspiration when I got into really started paying attention, really hardcore going to filmmaking, is when I was in middle school, and then we went to when we got into high school, Mr. Russell and all that stuff. But when we started that and everything, all my acting, if I ever was on screen or something else, it was always replicating Bruce Campbell and Evil Dead 2.
Like inspired.
It was just like how just animated he is and all that stuff, because it was so inspiring. Like, it's, we'll get to it in a minute, but when he's beating the shit out of himself with his hand in the kitchen, it's just incredible.
Yeah, this movie, I don't know if it's bad taste to say or not, but I'm a bad taste kind of gal. I feel like so I know he's sick right now, so it's kind of fucked up to say, but like, I feel like making Evil Dead 2 probably took like 10 to 20 years off of his life.
Yeah.
Or anyone else involved too, just because of the amount of sheer just beating the shit out of yourself it took.
Yeah, and well, it was funny because they had a stunt guy.
Yeah.
Now, granted, the stunt guy did do stuff like where he comes crashing down the stairs and falls through it and all that stuff. It's like, that's all stunt guy. But no, the kitchen is all 100% Bruce Campbell, where he flips himself over under the hardwood. It's just like, it's all 100% him. And he even told the stunt guy, he's like, nope, I got this scene, all that stuff. And as a director too, that's your main star, and you're just like, ooh, fucking be careful.
Don't kill yourself, please.
So it was just cool. But
it's kind of interesting that it seems like everything was a perfect storm with like the franchise in general, but the fact that like Sam and Ted and everyone else involved, like Scott Spiegel, the early movie people, the fact that they were all like in the same place at the same time, because I feel like Evil Dead wouldn't be Evil Dead without Bruce Campbell also, because he's such a character and personality force on his own. So it's kind of a perfect storm with that they all work and blend so well together. Yeah, and the beginning of this film too, they had a rights issue because it was done by a different studio with Evil Dead 1. Right. So they had to retell the events, and even Bruce to this day, he talks about the part where the spirit hits, or the entity hits Bruce Campbell at the end of the original Evil Dead. He said you should start that in Evil Dead 2 is when Bruce gets hit and he does that spin through the woods and then smacks into the tree. He's like, that's where you should pick it up at. And it was so funny because going into the lore of the Deadites and stuff like that, this is the only time that we've actually seen anybody get possessed by a Deadite and actually overcome it, their willpower. And because Bruce turns into a Deadite for a second, and then the sun comes up, and he's like trying to block out of his hand and all that stuff, and he goes back to human. And this is the only time in the franchise we've seen that. Huh.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. So
also, man, Evil Dead 2, one of the best like opening sequences.
Yeah,
Yeah,
stop
with the
motion
book and
animation.
stuff.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
with like getting to see the Necronomicon open up and see the pages get filled out with the writing and the drawings as it goes, and the voiceover, and like the spiral with the spooky spooky spirits coming at the screen. Like it's so good.
Yeah, and then like the animation, like it flips to the pages and you see the blood, like, it's taking all the text and stuff, and then it just flutters and then shuts at the very end. It's epic shit. But no, yeah, it was like we just talked about it too, but we'll get more depth here. It's just Bruce versus the Deadeye Hand. I just, it's so iconic because he just gets his ass kicked, and you know the famous line of "Who's laughing now?" And we see, because it's crazy. Like if I said this, oh yeah, this guy picks up a chainsaw and he cuts his arm off. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's horrific. And then when you see it, you're like, oh my God, it's the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and it's just like badass.
Yeah, and he cuts his own hand off, and I always laugh because it's just Bruce Campbell's fucking acting is when that hand. He puts the bucket on it and then puts the books on top, and I'm just like, "What the fuck are you doing?" and it fucking, and you hear it scurry away.
Yeah, and like it goes back into the slapstick shit where the hand's like crawling with its own fingers, and it goes into the mouse hole and like flips him off.
Yeah.
Before he does.
Yeah, that's exactly what I got, because like he hits a mouse trap, and fucking Bruce Campbell's like, ah, ha, ha, and he's like, and then it gets off the thing. He's like, "Fuck you!" And so he's like, "Why, you little motherfucker?" And then
yes, that's when you can really see a lot of that, like you said, the Three Stooges inspiration, like go into that.
Yeah, I just, oh God, it's just like, yeah, but Ash versus the Hand just so epic, and then even the quote unquote death, because the hand does come back. Spoiler alert for Ash versus the Evil Dead, but it shoots the wall, and then you hear, and then just this little blood stream come out, and then just fucking gallons of blood just coming out. And it's funny because that was the last scene that they shot on the film.
Really?
Was the scene of all the blood coming out,
because
it completely destroyed the set. He was like,
that makes sense.
Raimi was like, yeah, the fucking set was destroyed after that. It was just gallons and just oceans of blood coming out. But no, yeah, we've seen the first time you ever seen somebody overpower and actually beat the possession of the Deadite with Ash. But also, too, for the Deadite lore or something like that, this is the first time that we see a Deadite, like, transform and mutate. And that's Henrietta.
Oh, shit.
That comes from the basement.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't see that in the first film, and you know, it continues through the series and stuff like that. But yeah, it was the first time we've ever seen the Deadites can actually mutate.
And her neck, like, gets all long and is moving around.
And having the fucking chicken noises in the back. So
Swallow your soul.
Yeah, and yeah, you already got to it. It's like, I think it's one of the most badass deaths is like when he chops her up, and then the final shot hits her with the chainsaw, head goes flying, Bruce in fucking slow motion, spraying blood, and it's like, I'll swallow your soul, I'll swallow your thing. He's like, swallow this, and then fucking blew it out.
Oh my God, and the shot, the like, the upwards angle shot of him, so it's like point of view for Henrietta. Oh my God,
I love when he steps on her throat too. He's like,
but also like Ted knocked
Ted
it
Raimi,
out of the park with that. Yeah, he's so good as.
Yeah, and he said the contacts were fucking terrible. He was like, and I should have said that in Evil Dead 1 as well. They were more advanced when it came to Evil Dead 2, but in the first Evil Dead, they could only wear the contacts for like 15 minutes because it would dry your eyes out so bad.
Oh, man.
And
I was wondering, revisiting it, because I was like, that they go so much more minimized with that in like the newer films, especially with like the way they do like the eyes and stuff. And I was thinking, like, man, there's nothing as scary as what they look like in the original.
The original was fucking terrifying.
But I was like, looking at that, I was like, for a pretty significantly like lower budget movie, this had to have been hell to like wear all this stuff. It had to have been awful
and dangerous. Like even the first film they talked about, it's like it was just like, just put it when they did the prosthetics too, they did a mold or whatever, and they didn't know at the time. Oh fuck! What do they mix something in that you're not supposed to mix into a mold? And once again, they're just fucking high school kids that just graduated.
They're the pioneers.
They have no idea what they're doing, and even Bruce and Sam, they're like, we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. So I think it was the girl that played Linda. They were like, just put your head in here for like, I think it's like 10. She was in there for like 20 minutes, but it's only supposed to be like 10. So they were like, all right, it's time to take take the mold cast off, and they did it. Her eyebrows and everything came with it.
Jesus.
So
my god.
so
that's amazing.
That's awful.
But yeah, the context too. Like I said, we talked a little bit in the first one as well, and the second one it continues, and then Army of Darkness as well. Is it's that grabbing factor of the Deadites. Mm-hmm. I think it's all in the eyes. And then when we did the 28 hours later, I was so crucial about getting the red contacts because I think that's the money shot right there. Is like of the design, because even when they're normal, like all you have to do is put those eyes in there, and it's just like, ooh, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
You know, all that stuff. But
also back to the like the fact that they didn't know what they were doing and shit. Like, you know that the contacts back in the early 80s were unregulated, not as like scientifically advanced as they are now, so it was probably like way more uncomfortable than the color contacts you use
and, like,
today.
Potentially actually dangerous.
Yeah, they probably had no clue what was in that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and it didn't just cover the pupil.
It was like
the entire socket. It was just like,
that's insane.
It was crazy. But no, and then of course back to the Deadite lore. This is the first time, and once again, just Raimi's genius and how the Deadite horror evolves. This is the first time that we see the Deadites transform back to normal to like basically lure their prey in. And Henrietta turns normal and starts singing her the lullaby.
Yeah,
it's like, it's terrifying. I was like, oh fuck, she's normal and all that stuff. And then when the trap door comes back up, she comes back up and she's all fucking, fucked up and looking crazy. But
Linda does that too in the original. But
did she do it? Okay.
Yeah, it's very brief though. It's like it's like she does it for a minute to like lull Ash, and then Cheryl does it in turn, and it's just like, Ash, I'm okay now. You can unlock the basement. You can get me out of here.
I'm normal
and then
now.
and he like starts to go actually do it, and then I think like
I guess I did fuck that up. Yeah,
to being like
yeah.
He turns around and she's back to being a fucking freak. and he like drags her. outside.
Never mind.
It was crazy, but like no, I love how there's been such a through line with the way that they expanded on and just continued with all of the tropes that were there in the original to like build it into this wider lore of like how the Deadites fuck with you, like and specifically what their tricks are, and I love that in these movies so much.
And that shit, and the shit works too, because like I don't know why the fucking cast ain't coming up. Anyways, but in the cast, what is her name? It's not Linda. What was the blonde? It was the that was the actual like professor that was her daughter.
That's why I was trying to remember.
It's driving me nuts right now. But anyways, no, she the mom starts singing the lullaby, and once again, it's like, it has to be my mother because she knows that lullaby, and then she's like, you were born on blah blah blah, and it was snowing that day, and I thought it was so strange that it would be snowing like that, and you're just like, well, it has to be my mother because that's the only, like, that's a pretty fucking crucial detail that only she would know. It was Annie. That's what
Annie,
it was.
Okay.
It was, but yeah, and she starts to go towards the door.
And that's part of that's the shit that, like, mentally breaks you, because once you do realize it is a Deadite and not actually your mom, like, it still feels like they're there underneath the possession or whatever. There's a little piece of them still intact, maybe. So you're more hesitant to, like, try to kill them or to ignore their pleas or whatever.
Yeah, and before Annie and them show up to the cabin, too, we have just Bruce losing his fucking mind. And it's so funny because he goes up to the same mirror and he was like, okay, let's get it together.
We're fine.
And he's like, we're fine. And then fucking his evil Ash, which could this possibly be the first glimpse of evil Ash we've ever got? And evil Ash comes to the fucking mirror and he's like, we just chopped off our girl with the chainsaw. Does that seem fine? And then I'm just like, it's so funny. And then he's actually like choking himself, and it like pans back and it's just like, dude, he's losing his fucking mind. Then fucking he's like, okay, take a break, and he sits down in the fucking chair, and the fucking deer head starts laughing at him, and fucking the whole room starts laughing at him. It's just, and once again,
he starts laughing.
Yeah, he's like, it's zany.
That scene specifically is probably one of my favorite scenes in the entire franchise, just because it's so off the wall, bizarre, and crazy, and you want to laugh at it, but you're also like afraid.
Yeah, it's so funny. And then the fucking lamp going up and down with them, and then they just all stop, and then and then the thing just goes right back into it.
It's so perfect.
It's fucking awesome.
Dude, I love the fucking creepy ass claymation Linda
of Linda
dance.
when she's dancing.
That's so fucking
It's
scary. It's so uncanny. I love that they brought that back. I'm so glad they still did some like claymation stuff because it was just God, that whole sequence was like so fucking freaky. I remember it freaking me out as a kid, even though this is such a more like comedic tone than the first one. Or like self-aware, you know, like tongue in cheek, but
yeah, it's the prosthetic head is so bad, but it's awesome.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
When it spins around on top of her.
Yeah, and you know, he freaks out, and she grabs him through the fucking window and smacking his head right off the board or whatever, and then her head falls off, and he starts screaming. Then you realize, oh, it was just a nightmare, and then boom, her fucking head falls right in his crotch, and he's like, "Hello, lover," and then bites him on the hand. He's like, "Motherfucker!" So it's chaos. Like you said with the first 1981, when it hits gets going, it just fucking cranks the pedal, and it's awesome. But and then of course we get the fucking crash zoom suit up of the chainsaw hand, and then the fucking, and I'll die on this hill too. I think it's one of the best weapons in horror is the chainsaw hand. I still think this day is like it's the best like horror weapon, most iconic, I think.
Well, it's so cemented in the DNA of those types of tropes now. It's like I always think of like I feel like there wouldn't be a machine gun leg in Planet Terror if it wasn't for Ash having a chainsaw hand in Evil Dead. You know, like you know, that's
I
just
can see that.
Yeah. And what is it? Every single Evil Dead film has a chainsaw, right?
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like every single one has a chainsaw.
Yeah.
So.
The fucking the trope with the weapon hands and stuff, like it even the Evil Dead I know made a bunch of big waves in like Japan as well, so there's like stuff like that in a lot of Japanese
it almost feels like
anime.
God.
Yeah.
What's the
a lot of Japanese gore movies have like things where like a character has like a limb replaced with a weapon. That became a huge thing.
Yeah, and then towards the end of the film, we get the Kandarian demon actually takes on a physical form. This giant fucking head that comes through the actual door of the cabin with all his friends' faces in it. And so we see the Kandarian in physical form, and then reading the passages of the book, it actually pulls you into like a portal black hole, basically. But it also pulls Ash in and all that stuff, and it sets up the fucking next film that he wakes up and he's pulled all the way back to the 1300s, and then we find out in the middle of the film in the pages of the Book of the Dead that they discovered is it's some kind of promised savior from that was in the book, and then fucking Ash is like,
it's him.
Shit, it's me.
He's like, fuck.
And then it's just so funny because it's just a slow backing off shot, and he's like, no!
Yeah, he kills one of the Deadites when he like gets transported back, and all the like knights in armor and shit are just like, this is our savior. He's like, fuck.
Yeah, and then once again, Raimi is the knight.
And
he's like, oh, savior's here. It's so good, but no, man, just Evil Dead 2. Go ahead.
Before so Evil Dead in general has been taken on as like a parody in other modern media and stuff, obviously, but Evil Dead 2 specifically, we were talking about the scene of all of the like deer head in the cabin and everybody laughing and stuff, and then like the blood coming out of the walls and stuff. There's this Gravity Falls, I don't know if you've heard of it. It's this like animated Disney show that's kind of like their take on Twin Peaks, but it's a little bit more
It sounds familiar.
Kid friendly. They do an episode where they're in a cabin and there's like a scene that is very, very obviously a nod to Evil Dead 2 and to that scene in Evil Dead 2.
We gotta rewatch that sometime.
Yeah, and it's even to this day, a weird fucking movie to relate this to, but there was season 2 of Wednesday. Evie loves Wednesday, so we watched season 2, and there's a professor in there that he's a zombie that slowly he's starting to come back. Starting to like basically every time he eats somebody he regenerates or whatever, and I forget the character's name in that.
That's cute.
But anyways, at the very end he has no hand. So we're like, what the fuck? And then come to find out it's Thing from the Addams Family is his missing hand.
That's
so
cute.
that's funny. But anyways, the Thing comes back and he said, "Come back to your master," and he puts him on. Well, anyways, in the episode, the hand starts beating the shit out of him, and they said Evil Dead 2 was the main inspiration for that scene.
I love that so much.
Yeah. So as soon as I seen it, I was like, "That's fucking Evil Dead 2 right there."
Yeah.
So, yeah, but no, anything to add to Evil Dead 2? I know there's many. Like I said, I'd love to do a breakdown sometime focused on it.
It's definitely one of those movies where I feel like we could all wax poetic on it for hours and hours, but like anything else we add is shit that anyone listening already knows, probably, just because it is so iconic and it's such an important piece of like movie history in general.
Yeah. And, yeah,
not even just horror in general, but just movies in general.
Yeah. And yeah, like I said, to me too, it's like it's absolute perfection, I think, every second. And I wish I could just pull my eyes out and show people through the lens of why it's so fucking good. Like I'm even watching the trailer right now as because I got my notes on my computer, but there's a trailer playing for it in the background and just visually seeing it with no sound or anything. I'm like, fuck, I want to go watch this movie right now.
And there's so many good like setups that tee it out of or knock it out of the park of just like stupid one-liners from Ash that continues to be a thing throughout the series or whenever he's in it with the show and stuff, but it's just so good.
And I was gonna say, speaking of iconic one-liners, we move on to the third film and completing out the trilogy, and Sam Raimi's Army of Darkness, 1992. And I'm not being biased, I'm not trying to be biased, but I still think this day, every time I watch it, I think it is literally the pure definition of the funnest film I've ever seen. I think it's just perfect.
I think it's undersung, unfortunately.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think people don't fuck with it as much just because
it's not
as like gory, but I love that movie.
And I totally get it if you're just like, I love the first two. So I totally get that. But damn, Army of Darkness fucking kicks ass,
it's
man.
like an action comedy instead of a horror comedy, which is fine.
Yeah, and it's funny because we talked about like when I was 9, I seen the first Evil Dead, and then immediately after that, I was like, "Where's Evil Dead 2?" And then seeing him on the cover of the fucking chainsaw hand, I'm like, "Fucking hell!" But anyways, actually, I didn't watch the Army of Darkness until I was like 13 because it's not called Evil Dead 3.
Right.
I didn't know it existed. So this was actually the movie that sparked my close relationship with me and my uncle. Aww. And this is the very first.
With Chad?
Yeah.
Nice.
And this is the very first film he ever let me borrow. Aww. And he was like, "Yeah, this is Army of Darkness." And everything. It's like, "You seen the Evil Dead?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I've seen the Evil Dead." And he was like,
"It's nothing like that."
This is the third film, and I'm like, "The third film?" Oh. I'm like, "What?" And so it just blew my mind. I didn't know it was out there, but
Army of Darkness is, I don't know, in a way it's a departure, but it's also like it's so important to the DNA of the wider canon, especially when it gets into the Ash versus the Evil Dead stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's like, this is the movie where, I mean, obviously, in an understated way, it was Bruce Campbell's show in Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
But Army of Darkness, it's like, okay, he is like
the
hero protag through and through. Like, this is his thing now. It's his vehicle.
Yeah.
And that's like, I think the movie where it finally becomes like super cemented. Like that's what they're doing now.
Yeah. And you talked about it too. It's like it's one of those characters that there's no Evil Dead without Ash, and then also it's one of those iconic roles that you never fucking recast. You don't fucking touch because
they're gonna do it at some point.
And I just like it's like I don't know.
I hope not.
I hope not too, but like they're gonna do it at some point.
It's one of those things too because Raimi has been very protective about it too. It's like they wanted and we'll get to that in the 2013 Evil Dead, but at some point they wanted to do a crossover of Freddy versus Jason, and they were like, well, we could probably, we get Bruce and to play Ash and all that stuff, and they're like, they completely pulled out of that film because they were just like, no, the way you guys are treating the character, and he's like, no, we're absolutely not doing that. So they've been very protective about it. So I hope in the future, like even recasting Ash, they are like, the fuck you're not. They're just like so.
To be honest, I really think that like it's something that should die with them.
Yeah,
100%.
I don't think I want it to continue post Bruce Campbell. I don't see that as being like. I don't know, it just feels like it would be such an undermining of his legacy and his autonomy as a person and like what he's been through his lifetime with this character. So I like really do hope that they just like let that chapter be closed, and if anything Evil Dead happens, it keeps going in the route of these new movies.
Exactly,
It's just Deadites and Necronomicon stuff, but not Ash.
And tying it back to Army of Darkness, like you were saying, this film kind of cemented like Ash as a character and really fleshed him out a lot more. Evil Dead 2 did, but Army of Darkness just kind of cemented it. And I also feel like, again, just talking about Bruce Campbell, he seems like a persona in and of himself.
Yeah.
And I think that Army of Darkness is kind of where that really was like born.
Yeah, and you nailed it on the head, like cemented, like this is Bruce Campbell's character,
right?
Like it's his,
right?
And he's fucking running with it. It's so fucking funny. But no, the setup too. I forgot to say at the beginning. It's takes place in the 1300 AD. It's a fish out of water, in time, and it's genius. And it actually works. I think this could have gone terribly wrong, like if you tried it, but fucking Raimi pulls this shit off because he's just the fucking man. And the movie, which I wish it was called this, now that I heard what it was originally supposed to be called, I was like, man, that fucking sounds radical if that's what it was originally called. But it's so cemented in my mind, Army of Darkness, because I've grown up with it. But it was actually originally called Medieval Dead. And I was just that sounds
yeah, that kind of fucks.
Yeah, it's sick. Like a medieval. It's like a fucking like metal band, like Medieval Dead. Yeah, so I think it fucking rocks. I was like, damn, I wish they would have gone with the title of that. Yeah. So, but yeah, that was originally.
Damn, I kind of do too.
Yeah, Medieval Dead, baby.
I kind of want
awesome.
I want to see like a bootleg release of it, where someone makes a fake cool title card and cover.
Make one, man. Make a medieval title logo.
Poster of it. Yeah, that'd be super cool.
I'm sure some of them exist out there if you look for it.
Yeah, and the whole fucking movie is like practical effects galore.
Oh my god,
I
it's
love
so
it.
well done too.
And they do this like stop motion, like Harryhausen animation.
I was gonna say this feels like a movie where like even more so than with Evil Dead 2, it feels like Sam Raimi is really digging into like the stuff that made him. And he's like doing all this like Ray Harryhausen stop motion stuff with these like fucking skeletons and stuff, and it's crazy. It's so cool. I used to have a really big book of Ray Harryhausen stuff, and it's just like it's unreal. Those movies, even with their age, they're so worth checking out. Just because of how beautiful the stop motion is in them.
Have you watched the documentary about him? Yeah, it's fucking excellent.
Yeah, it's so amazing.
So good.
But like, yeah, I love that Raimi managed to strike this really interesting balance with these movies where, like, he was like, oh, I'm making, kind of like horror films or whatever, but I'm still going to manage to, like, just inject anything and everything I like into them, but make it make sense and ground itself within the world of these films in a way that doesn't feel, like, ham-fisted or, like, half-assed like a lot of other things do. And I love that so much.
Yeah, and
it just makes it feel so effortless the way he makes it all work. I don't know.
Yeah, and he was talking about it was like a dream for him because when they made Evil Dead 2, they didn't have the budget to do something like this. So he went on. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, so he went on. He did Evil Dead 2, and then he did Darkman.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that.
Fucking Darkman rocks.
I want to see it so bad.
But they did Darkman, and that gave enough confidence where the studio was like, yeah, you can have this budget. You can actually fulfill this. Like, back in 1300 AD, fucking medieval fucking Army of Darkness.
They had castles and shit.
Yeah. Like, it fucking rocks, man.
It was sick. It was so good.
And like I said, and then going into why fucking Army of Darkness fucks is, the little ashes that pop out and fight him, and I always crack up because it's so zany and over the top because it's so cartoonish because you're just like, all right, reality's out the window, but when he picks up the fucking kettle, he's like, all right, little fella, how about some little hot chocolate? And it's just like fucking, it's insanity. And I'm like, dude, they fucking have so many third-degree burns, but it's basically like a cartoon, like Tom and Jerry's fucking fine. Yeah,
you can see so much of that in it.
Yeah, and
I always think of Sam Raimi as like one of the. There's so many people I love where this is their whole personality. They're people who feel like in their mind, they are like a living cartoon character.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and like he is somebody who embodies that, and like you can see it in all of his work, and I love that so much about him.
And then was like I said, you can just tell Bruce is just so comfortable with this character and just elevating it in everything, because he gives the speech about the fucking boomstick. He's like, "You fucking S-Mart."
This is my boomstick.
He goes, it just, okay, so the dialogue delivery always cracks me up still to this day, and Jessica's like, you fucking laugh every time that happens on there, because it's so funny. But he gives the speech, he's like, "You can find this at S-Mart, shop smart, bull stock, like, has a fucking wood stock, blah, blah, blah," gives this whole description. And then he gets there, and he's like, "Shop smart. Shop S-Mart. You got that?" And then, like, fucking everybody jumps. Like, it's so fucking zany. I love it. And then he gets going into the fucking metalness. Literally, he gets a metal hand.
Yeah. That he builds himself.
Yeah. And he just so happens to have a fucking book in his trunk on how to make fucking gunpowder from scratch. Like, it's so
He
funny.
becomes like an engineer for a second, where he's like welding shit together.
The dumbest motherfucker, but when it comes to that, he's like,
he's kind of an idiot, but he randomly just pulls through when he needs it. I love it.
It's so good. And then I still say this to the day. I meant to look that up, the history of, like, you ever get those one-liners or jokes that just run fucking through history, and you're just like, where did that
go forever?
Well, yeah,
It
and like, where'd
becomes
that
a literal meme in media.
Yeah, and I was like, where'd that originate from? Is when he's like, I'm King Henry, blah blah blah. He's like, "Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants." He was like, "I'll tell you, buddy, you're only leaving two things: Jack and shit." And Jack just left town, or whatever.
That's a classic.
It's so fucking iconic.
There's so many there are so many one-liners in this movie that are all perfect.
One-liner galore, man. I just like. And two more. Is when
it's got to be the she bitch line.
Okay. So when the girl gets possessed by the witch, and she was like, does she say, "Who the hell are you"? Is that the witch at the end? I don't know what it is, but anyways, and it blows it out of the thing, and he was like, "Yo, she bitch, let's go."
He's holding up the gun with his arm.
Yeah,
I love the one where she's like, "You used to love me," and he was like,
"Honey,
you got real ugly."
Oh my god,
it's so good.
And then this is two little ones that a lot of people overlook in this film, is when he buries evil Ash or whatever, after he chops him up and all that stuff and throws him in the grave, and he throws him down there, and then he throws the head in, and it looks up. He was like, "You'll never get to the Necronomicon, you'll die before you get it." And he's like, "Hey, what's that you got there on your face?" or whatever. And he's like, "Huh?" And he's like, throws dirt right in his fucking face. Makes me crack up every time. And then finally, sorry, the one-liners, I'm done after this.
No, you're good.
It's something, and like I said, it's very little. He gets the book, and he fucks up and didn't read the fucking three words and all that stuff. But he gets back to the castle, and everybody's like, "He's back! The Chosen One's back!" And he's like, yeah. And then some dude comes up and tries to give him a hug, and he's like, "Get the fuck out of my face!"
Oh my
god.
In that scene where he throws the dirt on him in the grave, did it do the thing where it was the camera in the grave and the dirt being thrown on it? Yeah. So it's the way that these become instantly self-referential, because it happens in the first movie when he's burying Linda, and it's him just putting dirt and it's hitting the camera lens, covering it, and then it cuts away after. It's really funny how he just instantly was these are now the tropes of the films, and they will continue throughout. I love that so much.
And then going into the history of Evil Dead, we find out, and actually really pays off with the newer films and everything else too. We find out there is actually 3 Necronomicons. There is actually 3 volumes. Yeah. Now, you have the original one that is, the granddaddy, is what Ash has and stuff like that, is, with the Kandarian demon and things like that. But we found out there's 2 other volumes now, but the thing is, they can actually summon deadites and demons as well. So it was really crazy, and seeing how the franchise is run with that now is we have 3 Necronomicons, and then one ends up fucking trying to suck him down in a portal, and then the other one fucking bites him and fucking beats his ass.
Yeah, I was about to say that the scene specifically where he has them out and the one is like trying to suck him in. The practical effects for that scene are so cool. Where it, like his face becomes elongated,
stretched out.
It's all stretched out, and it looks good.
Yeah, and if you didn't accept the fact that you're in a cartoon world,
it's
now,
a cartoon movie.
And
essentially,
when he poured the fucking boiling water on himself, and he had a fucking evil ash come out of his body. If you haven't accepted that now, is when you get to the fucking books and his jaw's like all stretched out and shit. It's just like
it's so cool.
They were just running with it, and I love it. So
yeah, I've always loved when things are willing to like make something like that happen and make you believe it, make it grounded within the world, doing like literal like cartoonism, like rubber hose cartoon effects in a practical real life movie. That's so cool.
Yeah. And then he does the fucking like shake to get it to come back. Whatever. It's so fucking awesome. But no, you've said it multiple times throughout this, but I love like Bruce's he's fucking epic in this, but also at the same time you can see that he's over the last few days, because I don't think a lot of people realize, and the only film I can think of that I can relate this to is when people watch like the John Wick trilogy. It's a span of 2 days. Like, all the shit that John Wick goes through is like a span of 2 days. Yeah. Well, Bruce, it's like all the shit he goes through in the 3 films is the span of like 2 days. Because... Man,
I never really thought about that.
Yeah, he goes to the cabin, they get possessed, they all get fucked up, and then he gets hit with that spirit at the end, and then it goes into morning, and then it goes to fucking night, and Evil Dead 2, and he fights against the fucking things. Then that very same night, he gets sucked into a fucking portal, wakes up in 1300 AD, and you can just tell it's just so funny with the thing, because he's just annoyed and pissed. He's just over everything. He's like, this fucking bullshit.
That's what I love so much about Army of Darkness, is that he's so pissed about it the entire time.
And again, that's part of cementing like Ash as a character from then on, because in the Ash versus Evil Dead, which I think is the first thing that picks up post Army of Darkness with him specifically, he's just like jaded and pissed off at everything.
Yeah.
But it's also like, it's so funny in Ash versus Evil Dead too, because he like becomes this character where it's like he's almost become so like aloof and indifferent to it in a way, where it's like he's just like, okay, we gotta go kill these deadites and then maybe we can stop for churros. Like he's just like charm. It's like he's just like, it's just business casual. Like it's just like his normal day-to-day thing now. But it's so funny.
Kelly and Pablo are having like crises over these things that are happening, and he's
just like, come on guys, let's get this done.
And well, it's like I said too, if you go back to the 1981, how the Ash character is you just see the transition. It's like he was in the background for most of that film, like what the fuck is happening, like kind of like a deer in the headlights. He's like frozen by the fear and all the shit going on.
He was just trying to fuck.
And then number 2, he's just going out of his fucking mind. He's like, fucking, we got to do something. And then the fucking third one, he's like, we got a fucking possessed fucking dead-eyed witch over here. I got to fuck her up. So it's
I love it. It's like it's so funny how much they chose to continue embodying his, like, he's got these, like, silly, like, Midwestern, like, all-around, like, good-natured, average Joe, like, but, like the Medal of Man beefcake kind of isms about him. Like, he's just supposed to be, like, a good old boy. And, like, they, like, lean into that so much more in the future ones, where it's like, despite everything he's been through, his whole prerogative for, like, him being happy is just being, like, this normal ass dude, like this like blue collar darling kind of guy. And it's like so funny. I love it.
One of the things that I love about his characterization and what it like ended up becoming, I don't know if it was the intention at the beginning or not, but he's essentially just like a himbo. Just a dumb, good looking dude who can also like kill demons and shit. But he's incompetent in certain areas. Completely
he didn't mean to be good at it. He didn't want to be.
He just and he like has resentment for that. He's like, I don't want to do this, and I don't want to be caught up in this, but like I'm the only person.
And it's like the prophecy shit. That's why
it's the
like,
prophecy. Literally,
it's so funny that the joke is just like running against him the entire time. And I've always loved that trope in movies where it's like somebody gets taken on some stupid ass like Monty Python ass fucking medieval quest shit, and they're just like, I don't want to do this. It's like they don't want to play along, and it's just like the thing they're forced to do. It's like so funny.
Yeah, and it's funny because I'm referencing Ash vs. the Evil Dead a lot more because they do dive into that stuff in that TV series because he's like, you think I fucking want this? I'm getting blasted with blood every time I fucking turn around. He's like, you think I wanted this and all that stuff? So, and even in that series as well, is he can't go back to his hometown because he literally was the only one that came back from the cabin. So they think they're not believing in dead ice and demons. Slashy. Yeah, it's like they think he murdered his friends and he got away with murder and all that stuff. So, but yeah, the culmination of the film is Ash versus the Army of Darkness, and Ash actually plays evil Ash in the makeup and all that stuff, and just he's so fucking funny, like especially when they break through the castle door. And he's like, we've broken through, my lord. And he was like, like, so he's just running with it. And then before the fight happens, he like taught them like modern techniques with this fucking fighting style. Makes no goddamn sense. And then the exploding skeletons, the one just sitting there screaming as the big ass catapult bull, like, and he created the fucking gunpowder we talked about from scratch. Just so happened to have that book in his fucking trunk, so that was so good. And then he made this fucking battle car with this fucking windmill on the front and shit. It's just
that's what's kind of funny too when you think about it. Is like the whole idea of him being this like almost this like Midwest blue collar darling kind of character is like I think that's a common thing that a lot of people, especially of the time, were attaching to, is because it's like this idea of you being this like guy who it's just like, oh, you're dumb as a bag of rocks, but you're really good with cars. You're really good with technical stuff. Or like you're really good with like engineering stuff,
which is
or
a
whatever.
thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's like such a fun embodiment of like the tropes that his cartoonish character kind of has. Like I love that that's like a part of his makeup.
That makes sense the way you put it. It is very like Midwestern blue collar charmer kind of a thing. I love
like
that.
he's the salt of the earth.
Yeah,
like,
literally. That's pretty much it. But he's also an asshole, which makes you love him even more.
Well, he doesn't mean to be. I think he's just kind of
he's
a fish out of water. He's just a fish out of water.
So good. And then, of course, the fucking showdown between him and Evil Ash, and he was like, fucking chasing up the stairs. It's so fucking goofy. And but no, I honestly love, because it's the cherry on top is the culmination of, before we get to the end scene, but the culmination is even the death of Evil Ash. Like, he just perfectly lands on that catapult with the bag of dynamite, or the bag of gunpowder, and then he was like, he's like, never compromise mine. He's like, you're going for a ride, bonehead. And then he like cuts his head and then he just hits a string, and then he like, and then fucking explodes, and that's it. So it's just rad. But no, closing out the movie, of course, he's sitting there talking to he's back in his own time. He made it back. He's sitting there talking to Ted Raimi, who's the dude working in S-Mart. Yeah. And he's just back to work in convenience store. And I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, that's right.
So funny. That's what I mean, too, is like, it's like after it's all said and done, he just goes back to being like a normal ass dude.
He's telling the story to the girl who's just like, okay, that's nice, trying to impress her or whatever.
Yeah. No, she overhears it.
She overhears it, that's right, okay. But then at the end, when like shit hits the fan, and he's like, he has the one-liner where he kills another Deadite, and then he's like, hail to the king, baby.
Yeah, he was like, ma'am, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave the store. And she's like, who the hell are you? And he's like, Ash. What was it, Hardwares or something like that? Yeah. He was like, I'll swallow your soul. And he's like, come get some. So he's just fully embraced it. He's like, yeah, fucking, this is just happening now. And then, like you said, he was like, I should have stayed in that time and been king, but, in my world, I am king. And that's just this fucking cartoon ending.
Telling some normal-ass person about this.
That's it's so funny, too, because I don't know if you played the games back in the day, but the second one, the PS2 one, it was just called, like, Evil Dead, Hail to the King. It's like they would just use that as, like, subtitles and stuff. I loved that so much.
And then you've got, like, we were talking about how the Evil Dead isms and shit show up as tropes in, like, modern media through time. Duke Nukem has that. He has a
I was gonna say, I wanted to say, like, Evil Dead was pretty much, like, the franchise that like early like 90s computer games started to like really attach to, because it's like the Duke Nukem games, the Doom games, Blood, like all the old school like boomer shooters.
I think
like
Quake had some
Quake,
kind of thing.
All of those games have fucking Evil Dead references,
Yeah.
and that's specifically Evil Dead.
Yeah.
And like they have a few other movies, but like predominantly it's always Evil Dead stuff.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy to think about how much influence those had on like an entire generation of people burgeoning into like a completely different field. Like it's super cool.
It kind of sucks though, because there's not been a good Evil Dead game.
Yeah. I was like,
unfortunately,
they're
Hail to the King, I think, is the best, and that one's still rough around the edges.
I would love like a remaster of that. It's like, but no, you were in the bathroom. We were talking about it. It's even today. Last year, Evie loves Wednesday, so we were watching Evil. We were watching Evil. Anyway, so we were watching Wednesday, season 2, and there's a character in there that starts out as a zombie. He comes back from the dead, and it's his professor. But every time he eats the brains of somebody, he regenerates back to his normal self. Well, anyways, eventually he gets all the way back, and then you realize that he didn't generate a hand, and he's missing a hand. And it's the thing from and you're like, oh, that's his original owner, so that was pretty cool. But anyways, later in the series, he's like, come back to your master, and the thing gets on him, and it starts beating the shit out of him. It's
doing like a
Evil Dead,
evil hand thing,
and it just starts beating the shit out of him. And then of course afterwards I was like, that had to be Evil Dead, and of course the director was like, oh yeah, he was like, it's Evil Dead 100%. He was like, and even he grabs a bat. I'm trying to describe this as much as possible because it's an audio podcast. But even when in Evil Dead 2, we grabs Ash grabs the back of his hair and does the flip and flips himself. He does that in the Wednesday series as well.
That's so good. I love that.
But like I said,
nods.
Yeah, it's like 50 years later, and still Evil Dead's getting references like everywhere. It's nuts. But yeah, that's all. You guys got anything to add to Army of Darkness before we move on?
Listen, I could add a bunch to Army of Darkness.
Oh yeah. Like I said, I would love to do a breakdown episode, like a watch through as we're watching. Like I would love to do it, man.
No, I don't.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant to ask too. Is like, have you guys done the Evil Dead? On what the fuck are you watching?
No, not yet.
Oh shit.
I'm sure everybody's seen it, but it's one of those things that would be fun to do on a podcast.
Fuck yeah, man. That would be awesome. So anyways, but yeah, so moving on from Army of Darkness, we're going into 2013, and we have at the director's chair is not Sam Raimi. We have Fede Alvarez, and that is not The Evil Dead. It is just called The Evil Dead. And just a heads up before we get in the discussion of Evil Dead 2013, Chloe will appreciate this too. The dog does die in this movie. So just a heads up, dog does die.
Okay, but to be honest, the puppet for it doesn't look that great, so it kind of took me out of the scene.
Dude, I forgot that there was even a dog.
Oh yeah.
And then
honestly,
we
by the time
rewatched it, and I was like, "There's a dog," and then I was like, "Oh," because he dies pretty early, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
I did the same. It only showed him for like a second, I think, and then all of a sudden he was dead, and it's like, "Oh shit, there was a dog, wasn't there?"
Yeah. Well, let's come back around to the dog because the dog is crucial to.
Is it?
Well, it's crucial. And I'll get to it when we talk. Anyways, but no, I talked about it a little bit ago before. This is like a 21-year gap between the Army of Darkness and then you have Evil Dead. So it was, not just me, but hardcore, like people that have been alive through the entire Evil Dead franchise they waited 21 years to finally get an Evil Dead. Now, I know that the big disappointment was that Bruce Campbell is not coming back as Ash. And then also the big thing that was Sam Raimi was not in the director's chair. At the time, does James want Bruce Campbell back as Ash? Fuck yeah, I do. Do I want Sam Raimi directing an Evil Dead film? Yes, I do. But with the blessing and them being executive producers and all that stuff, they found Fede Alvarez and said, yeah, we trust in him to take over this project. And this is their baby. And they're like, we trust this guy to take care of it. And I was like, Raimi and fucking Campbell I trust, and if they believe in this guy, I fucking believe in him too.
Yeah, they produced it.
Yeah.
So we finally got Evil Dead. So with that out of the way,
I really like it.
Yeah, it's I was in this is actually at the beginning of me and Jess dating. So it was I'm sitting in the theater. I knew that they were making this film. I had no idea that it was complete. I wasn't I was focused on my MMA career at the time, so I wasn't really like in depth into films at the time, paying attention to everything going on. But yeah, we're sitting in the theater. I forget what fucking movie we were going to see at the time, but it was a Red Band trailer, and it was The Evil Dead. And when it started out, it showed like it just kind of. I thought it was a regular horror movie. Then it started doing the snake through the woods, and I was like,
"Yeah, what is this?
Is this fucking Evil Dead?" And I was like, but it was like, don't, the classic horror movie. I'm like, oh fuck, it is. And I'm just like, and then it showed the Book of the Dead, and I was just like, it's a fucking button. And then Jessica was like, oh my god, he's gonna fucking freak out here. And then the fucking trailer kicked ass, and I think it just captured everything. Even the trailer. I'm just talking about the trailer right now. We'll get to the film, but I think it just captured visually. I was just like, I was hyped as fuck. It blew my mind and fucking watching the trailer.
I was too. That was. I think that's as far as like anything that's had a remake goes. That was one of the last times I could think of where I was genuinely like, oh, I actually really want to go out of my way to see this.
Yeah.
Like, in theaters, like, as soon as it comes out.
Yeah, and we, now that we're recording the podcast, we can say it out loud. You say what you said about the Evil Dead franchise. Like, you said with other remakes and continuing.
Oh, yeah. I feel like, as far as any of the long-running, like, like the long-running, like, 80s, especially, like, horror franchises, as far as any of those go, like so many of them have just become such a like swing and a miss kind of a thing, or like they're like very mixed bag. I don't think there's ever been an Evil Dead movie I didn't like. And that's why I appreciate that it seems to have been more of a quality over quantity thing with them, and yes. I'm so happy about that because I like them all in their own right. I really, really do. And they all just have, like, something really fun and unique while also being, like, again, like, self-referential and, like, grounded within the lore and the style and everything about these films. They just really fucking work. I think all of them work in their own way. And I love it so much. And I was... I think I left the theater after seeing this one when it first dropped, finally. I think my dad and I went to the theater for this, and I think I left with like a shit-eating grin because I was just like so stoked on what they did with it. I was just like, oh my god, they went back to like the really dour, like brutal spookiness of like the first movie, but it still has like the DNA of all the other movies like combined into it, and I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, it's so funny he said that because like Evil Dead is it's a double-edged sword with me when it comes to the movie community because it's so funny. Fuck them, but it's so funny because when I tell people that I get attacked from two different areas, and that is Evil Dead 2 is my favorite film of all time, and when I say that, I have horror people in the community, like just douchebags, not everybody overall, because I love the horror community, like they're fucking awesome, but of course in everything you have those toxic fandom, but people are like, oh well, you can't like artsy fancy fucking films and then say you're a fucking Evil Dead fan. I'm like, shut the fuck up. And
that
then
doesn't mean anything.
And then I get it from the other side is my artsy fartsy people are being toxic, and they're just like, oh, you don't know what quality filmmaking is if you like the Evil. I'm like, fuck you.
The problem is that you're paying attention to pretentious people on both sides.
Yeah, and that's probably what to do with the two. And but it was so funny because I came out of 2013's Evil Dead, and I was getting attacked like original like Evil Dead fans. They were like, oh, that's not fucking Evil Dead. I'm all like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't know what fucking film you've seen, because I think Fede Alvarez like captured
what an
everything.
Insane take. Like this was brutal as shit. This movie was awesome.
They just turn into like they put like something on a pedestal and then put nostalgia goggles over it, and then they're just like, there's nothing that could ever touch it.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, the first Evil Dead is a very technically flawed film.
Yeah.
But it's a wonderful film.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's got an amazing energy to it.
Yeah. And what was it? I mean,
come on, like you don't like with all that in mind, you can't just be such a snobby asshole about the fucking requel, the remake reboot thing. Like it's just
Yeah,
Come
it's
on.
yeah, and like I said, it still goes on today as people they don't give the films chances. And don't be wrong, if I get it to a certain degree. You've been burned so many times with these shitty remakes and all that stuff. Because around the time it was Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm a huge Nightmare on Elm Street fan, and when they did that remake, I'm like, oh, motherfucker, like like it was just such a bummer. But when they did Evil Dead, which is my favorite horror franchise of all time in cinema, I was very touchy about it. But when I heard that Raimi and them found that, but I think Fede Alvarez killed it. And
yeah, I do too. I think it was kind of insane how well executed it was, and that it was so much its own thing.
Exactly, that's one. But yeah,
that's what blew me away, is that it was as well executed as it was. It hit all the points I wanted it to hit, but it was also its own story. It had nothing. It wasn't trying to just remake the old movie, and it was like technically kind of a sequel. Like, and that's like what's so cool about it. I love that.
Yeah, and I have it right here too. Is like you took the story of a drug addict, and it's I thought he did such a good job of, like, it's kind of like Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049. I love that. Yes, it's a sequel to the Blade Runner world, but also Denis Villeneuve made that originally its own. I get that with Fede Alvarez. Is basically you take the character of Mia, and basically she's a drug addict that's trying to recover and fight against her addiction. But also at the same time, it's a really cool, like, you battle against your own life darkness, but also that playing into the Book of the Dead is what do you believe coming out of her mouth.
It's what keeps them from, like, understanding how dour things actually are for so long, is because they think they haven't seen anything yet, so they think she's just tripping.
It's genius.
Off her fucking rocker because of the withdrawals, and it's really like, oh no, supernatural shit is happening. You just haven't seen it yet.
Exactly.
And she has, and I loved that so much. I also loved that being the premise for it, because I think a lot of there are a handful of, like, remake kind of movies I actually do really like from, like, the late 2000s and early 2010s. In a lot of them, they have this really, really down-in-it, dour kind of tone to them, like the I Spit on Your Grave remake and things like that. This movie, with the premise of them going out to this, like, shitty remote cabin, because the cabin is, like, oppressive in this one. Like, maybe even more so than the first film, because it's so dark. They shoot it so dark. And, going out to this cabin so your friend can kick heroin for like 3 days of, like, psychosis and hell is just like, ugh. It's such a dour concept in and of itself, and also, then of course it just has to turn into what it turns into. Like
the fact that I don't know why, but this, like, got me for some reason. The fact that they also had, like, a backup stash for her in case it, like, failed, or they had to, like, she was about to die or something. Like, that kind of got me when they, like, showed that.
Yeah, because it could kill you.
Yeah, it can kill you. It's like you've got this awful dour subject matter, and then let's put, like, an Evil Dead as, like, the demon possession shit behind all of that. It's just a recipe for, like, disaster in the best way.
Yeah, you were going when we were talking about it. It was just such a genius too, because making it his own film, but also paying tribute to what makes Evil Dead so special is, like, you have Mia, like, basically battling life darkness, and then also that sets up is her addiction. Like, what do you believe that's coming out of her mouth, and what do you believe, like, is the truth and what's false?
Yeah, part of that, I think that aspect of it got me a lot, because it was like, you empathize with both sides. Yeah. Like, obviously Mia is, like, actually going through it, but her friends, it's like, if your friend is, like, coming off of an addiction like that, like, they are going to be going into, like, psychosis and saying crazy shit. So you kind of want to give them the benefit of the doubt for being like, you're fine, go back to bed. Yeah, and you have... And gaslighting her, essentially.
She, in the truth is, she's a victim to the Book of the Dead and what's going on with the Deadites and stuff like that, but she's also, in her addiction, does her friends think she's playing the victim?
That too, or just, like, she's saying this shit to get out of having to sober up, and she just wants to go off and, like, get well again or whatever.
Yeah, and that's what's, I won't go into details about that, but I've dealt with people with drug addiction and very close to me, and it's it's you just fucking like if they're trying like it fucking comes out like anger bursts and shit like that, and
it's almost like they are possessed.
And that's why I think the dog played in the thing, because when he finds that dead dog, he totally 100% could probably believe that she fucking killed him because it was one of her sporadic outbursts and stuff like that. So that's when the dog actually had some weight to it. So
it did in that aspect where he was like, at that moment, he was like, I'm fucking done. This is over. Like, I'm coming for her.
Yeah. And then we do find out, I know, okay, so on the Blu-ray cover, it does say reimagining of the of Evil Dead by Fede Alvarez. Fede Alvarez. It says the reimagining. Now, over the last 10, 12 years, Bruce Campbell, Fede Alvarez himself, and Sam Raimi have really kind of like muddled that and said, well, actually, the book that they find is actually one of the 3 books and stuff like that. So instead of it being the original Book of the Dead, they've really kind of got it across, which I think in the film is, that's how I took it at first. I was like, this has to be one of the volumes or something like that, because that's not the original Evil Dead. And the reason why I say that is they find this, inside it says something about a new demon. It's not the Kundarian demon. It's a new demon that is called the Taker of Souls, and it has to consume 5 souls. And the difference, the reason why I think this is, you're totally dealing with a different demon, a different volume of the Book of the Dead, is the eyes. They're not white, they're yellow. So that's why I was like, oh, they're deadites, but we're dealing with a different breed of deadites and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I have to say, like, I understand that there's a lot of like muddiness in the lore of these flicks, but like, it has never bothered me.
Exactly.
Because it was almost established as kind of a like, we're doing this as we go kind of a thing from literally the second movie.
Yeah.
I mean they even like technically rewrote the events in the second movie, which I think became like pretty much the main canon.
It's kind of the canon.
Just like, it was just him and Linda, whereas like he used to be with a big group of friends, and it was this whole thing. But like, I always just accept, especially for this franchise in particular, and I get that will probably be contentious for some people, but this is one of those few things where I'm just like, I don't care. I don't care about the nitpicky details of the writing. I'm just gonna let it go, because they will find something to do with it later, and it's gonna be cool. So
and then like the original Necronomicon in the 1981, he burned it. And then the second one, it's back all of a sudden. And then also they make a reference to it in Ash vs. the Evil Dead. They're like, well, Pablo's like, well, Jefe tried to burn it at some point, but it came back or whatever. So, it's one of those things restoring that. But no,
they did something different in this one where this Necronomicon doesn't fucking burn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it was like a different sort of thing. And I feel like if there was somebody out there tracing the research and the origins and the stuff they could find, the breadcrumbs of like who had the other book, it would make sense like if someone had another one, that they would go here to see if they could find the other one, if it was still there, and find the research notes and stuff.
I want to revisit that when we talk about Evil Dead Burn. I want to revisit that. But no, the yellow eyes was a total like, oh, we're dealing with something else, because it's not the fully wide-eyed eyes. And I was like, well, maybe it was just like a visual choice at the time and stuff like that. But in Ash vs. the Evil Dead, the Deadites he fights against, it's all fully wide-eyed eyes. So I'm just like, okay, so it's a different breed of Deadites that they're dealing with. Now, when we talked about an Army of Darkness, all 3 volumes have the power to conjure Deadites and everything else, so we know that. So it's still extremely fucking dangerous. So, and we find that out too with what was it, Eric? Yeah, Eric, that reads from the fucking Book of the Dead.
The dude with the glasses.
Yeah, good job, Eric.
Why'd you do that?
Dumbass. I'll get to him in a second. Anyways, and this is pretty cheeky and pretty fucking cool. Did you guys ever notice this? David, Eric, Mia, Olivia, and Natalie spells demon.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh,
That's
shit.
so funny.
And I was like, it's pretty cheeky.
It's really stupid, but I love it.
So, and then...
funny.
And there it is. My notes is and they didn't call it the Necronomicon. They called it the Notorum Demento. That's what the book is called and stuff like that. So it has this.
And they made mention of that in the very first film, but it was like when he said it, he was like, "This is the Necronomicon. It's one of 3 books under a series called the
Yep.
Torum Demento, and so it's like, it again gives you the opening for that to be like a new book that's been left here by somebody else that came here, and also fucked around where they shouldn't have, and then they had the same shit happen, and now there's a book left behind.
Yep. And here it is with a big exclamation point. Eric's a dumbass, and it just like he finds the book. I love.
Homeboy had to read out loud.
Yeah,
he just had to read out loud to himself.
He even fucking like did a little scribbles out that shows. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, it literally says, "Do not read from this book." Like, fucking like.
That's what I love about this Necronomicon too. Is it looks like it's got like notes from people who fucked with it.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's got all the real text and it's got scrawled text like, "Do not do this," like all throughout it. It's so crazy.
Yeah. And like I said, it had all the warnings, but it just like, and then later, earlier in the movie, there's a well that's next to the fucking cabin, and it's like I said, it's a horror movie.
The slugs are going to be partying.
Yeah, we gotta get this movie going for the horror effect and stuff like that. So I totally get it. It's a horror movie. Let that stuff go. But it was like they poured drugs down this well. I'm just like, why didn't the fucking people that fucked with this book before? They just left it in the basement, wrapped in barbed wire in a fucking trash bag. I'm like, chuck that shit down the well. So it was just, and then that
book down the well.
So my country can be.
But yeah, it just like Eric's the fucking dumbass, man. And then, but no, I wanted to give a big shout out to Jane Levy. I think she is absolutely the MVP of it. Who plays Mia? I think she just is awesome because she's fighting addiction and herself, the darkness, within her, and it's magnificent because she endures the horror of the Book of the Dead, but also in the movie she becomes the horror, and then she becomes a badass at the very end and stuff like that. So it's just a really cool journey for the character.
Is there anything that you have seen gift as much on the internet as that goddamn pan down shot of her chainsawing the head of the demon in front of the burning cabin? Like, it is everywhere. You can't escape it. It's so funny how much that became such an iconic image.
It absolutely, because I have it right here too, is the practical effects in this movie. It's just off the chain. That was one of the things too. It's just like you have the box cutter scene where she opens a box cutter and then fucking licks it, and then the fucking tongue splits. Yeah. And I was like, and that was in the trailer when I watched it. I was like, what the fuck?
I thought I had them cemented when you got here with like the questions for later in the show, but like I've been wrestling with them as we sit here, because it's like as we revisit, I'm just like, oh, but that one's so good. I don't know.
But you have the box cutter, you have the turkey carver, and then you have the
turkey carver is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
The electric carver stuff is just, that's so good.
And then when like Mia gets on top of Olivia, and she starts like fucking puking blood all over her, I'm like, oh, and just
that's another Raimi-ism. It's like in so many of his movies, but that one specifically also, it's like somebody's puking like blood up or something, and it goes into the other person's mouth. Yeah, that is such a thing.
And the Olivia, when she gets possessed by the Deadeye, the glass in the bathroom, and she like carves her fucking like jaw open. The effects on that is just it's fucking just so good. But yeah, prosthetics designer Roger Murray and Jane O'Kane, who did the practical effects in this movie, is off the chain. And Silus already got to it. It was the third act when it's blood rain just fucking coming down.
Literally blood rain.
That's something I like too, because they followed that up. That's like a visual motif where they kind of did it mostly. I don't remember it being a thing in the first one, except a little bit. They did it with like ashes down in the basement, and blood starts coming onto the projector as it's like projecting onto him, because a record starts playing. A projector turns on, it's like blinding him with the light.
Yeah.
Blood starts materializing.
Exactly.
But they, again, like from the first film, they were like, we gotta up the ante. This is a trope now. This will continue. So in the second movie, they have like the gallons of blood spraying out of the wall and all that stuff. And then in this one, they have the blood rain. And we're not to it yet, but in Evil Dead Rise, they have the blood elevator, and so it's like I love that that's like a thing that can happen with this like demonic infestation. Is like certain things can materialize in the world that are kind of technically separate of the Deadites. It just happens. Like, it's really neat.
Yeah, and it, like I said, it's in the subject matter of the film too. I think just Fede Alvarez like nails it with David and Mia's relationship as brother and sister. Like I said, I'm not getting into details, but it really hit me hard because I'm like, I've dealt with this, and I was like, and the David character regrets all that stuff. All that shit's gonna race through your mind, and just like him in the film, you know, he saves Mia at the end. He actually buries her alive, and then the burning bush actually goes out, and he saves Mia. But you know, of course, David goes back into the house to retrieve that picture. And yeah,
that's so brutal because that's a part specifically where you're like, okay, it's over, it's the end.
Yeah.
You know, they've beaten it. There's you let out a sigh of relief and you let your guard down.
Yeah, and it's like, fuck Eric.
And then there's a whole ass new act.
Yeah, and
of just awfulness.
Yeah, and he ends up shooting the gas canister and it fucking blows the whole
I love that
thing.
part so much. It feels like a video game or something.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so satisfying when he shoots that gas canister.
Also, this fucking film is so brutal.
Yeah.
Good God. Especially for like a mainstream release film. Like, it's so brutal.
Yeah.
But the thing that was really crazy for me establishing it was just the opening.
Yeah.
It's like,
the fucking fake out. Yeah, fake out.
Like, the dad having his daughter chained up in the basement with like all the like people being like, this is what you need to do to save her soul, that's the only way, and they have to light her on fire, and then he blows her head off with a shotgun. And I was just like, good God, that is so dour. And like the way they shot it was like brutal too, because it's like,
you got goosebumps. She's like, Daddy, just take me home, Daddy.
No, yeah. She's all squeaky voice. I got
she's
goosebumps.
So sweet and innocent.
I got goosebumps just thinking about it because like it's so good because like she's like, please, Daddy, untie me. She's like, I'll swallow your soul.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck.
It's that 1-2 punch.
Yeah, and it's like, it shows it where it's like, it's almost in a way kind of like censored, but it's like almost more gross because you don't see it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it shows her from the back of the board that she's tied to.
Yeah.
And when he blows her head off with the shotgun, it's like you just see like bits fly out and like you see like the impact of it and like the shake of the board.
Yeah.
Oh God. And it like immediately cuts to black. It was so brutal.
Yeah, and like I said, the intros too, man. Like I really hope that they especially Evil Dead Burn and Wrath, I was like, that starts to become like an iconic thing for these newer Evil Dead versions and stuff, because her getting her head blown off and then boom, Evil Dead, and I'm just like stuff, and then we'll get to Evil Dead Rises opening here in a minute. But anyways,
that title card's crazy.
But no, I was gonna say, it was just like, he shoots a gas canister and then it blows and it kills David and Eric, but the thing about it is it the Taker of Souls has its 5 souls. So the abomination comes out and it looks like Mia. And it comes out and like you said, it's like a fucking like alien. Like, oh shit, we got a whole fucking 4th act going on here. So it comes up and then of course, it's terrifying. Like when she gets down that foxhole and she's trying to like crawl away from it, like it fucking gives me chills. And then it, calling back to Evil Dead and everything, the fucking car gets flipped over, and then you see the massive power of this fucking, the abomination that came out from the Eater of Souls, or the Taker of Souls, but you see the strength of it just flips the car over like it's nothing, and then Mia rips her fucking, rips basically a stump. Stump rips her hand off, and then I love it. That's what I was going to say about the foxhole.
That was so fucking crazy that she just ripped it out.
Yeah.
Oh, and it looked,
my God, that was awful.
Yeah.
And she said she even like had the wherewithal and the energy to like deliver a little quippy thing right before that. She was like, I'm so fucking sick of this, or something like that.
Yeah, and she it's in, like I said, it's a fucking stressful moment because when she's in the shed, she finds a fucking chainsaw. Yeah. And then, but she's only got this little bit of gasoline in it. So she's like fucking this little bit of gasoline trying to get it in there, and then just enough to where it can actually fucking rev up. And then, of course, we get the iconic shot of just honestly the most blood I've ever seen just fucking put down on a like a movie set. Like it was just raining blood, fucking ground.
Dude, that's what blows my mind is I think Raimi and Peter Jackson were trying to give each other a run for their money back in the day.
Yeah.
And it just has continued as the trope ever since, where it's like Peter Jackson went off to have his illustrious career, and Sam Raimi was like, I love the blood and guts. Like, we're going to keep doing this in other movies. Like, I know it's not his, but he produced it. Like, it's his ism or whatever. So,
yeah, but then...
he's like, I'll take ownership of this if Peter Jackson doesn't want it anymore.
Yeah, and then she finally gets the and like I said, the shot is so iconic. You got to it as well. It's like, and once again, Fede Alvarez making it visually his own. Is the cabin's on fire in the fucking back. You have the raining blood, and then the abomination is like, I'll feast on your soul, and she's like, feast on this, motherfucker, and takes her stump and sticks it right in the handle, and then just shoves that chainsaw right down its fucking throat. So it's so good. But yeah. Evil Dead 2, 3 now. And when she did that, I fucking wanted to get up in the middle of the theater, like, start clapping. Like, this is fucking awesome. Like, so it just screams Evil Dead, and it was awesome. And also, too, I want to give a shout out because the original ones will always be like visually special to me and all that stuff. But I do want to give a shout out to Aaron Morton, who is the cinematographer on the 2013, because this is probably visually my favorite of the Evil Deads. Like, I just love how nasty this movie looks, and it's awesome. So yeah, 2013 Evil Dead.
It is beautifully done.
Anything to add?
Dude. Yeah, I still revisiting it yesterday. It was like, I remembered how giddy I was the first time seeing it, and I remember I had actually totally forgot somehow, but like the final like groovy thing at the end, the like post-credit scene of Bruce Campbell like turning and being like groovy. That was so funny. And then Ash versus Evil Dead is a thing, and man, it's so good.
But yeah, this movie scared the shit out of Jessica. I was like, it was like when we went.
It's scary.
It's a freaky ass movie.
She won't watch it again.
I don't blame her.
I was trying to get ready for this podcast. I'm like, I need to knock out the Evil Dead films this week, and she's like, I'm not watching the one.
I'm gonna be honest. We had revisited a handful of them yesterday, and it was the first time I'd seen the 2013 one in a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit high, and I was like, it was in the thick of it, and I was just like, this is what hell feels like. Like, dude, I was terrified.
When Mia's on the bed in the room, and what's it, David?
Yeah.
What's her brother's name?
Yeah.
David comes in to like try and console her or check on her or something, and she's just like the terror in her eyes.
No, and she's like, there's like, somebody in here with us.
Yeah.
That shit, like, that's the part where I was just like,
something in the woods, and I think it's in here with you now, or whatever. It's just like, it's so scary because it feels so real.
Yeah.
Her delivery,
her acting was insane.
Jane Levy.
And I will say, like, a lot of the acting in that from the other characters is a bit shaky or a bit wooden, so like good for her because she really held it down. Because a lot of the other ones are just like pretty faces with not a lot going on, but like she did great. Like it was crazy how well she did that part.
Well, it's going back to that dark humor, like is when fucking Natalie gets shot in the face with the nail gun. And then, and she's like passing on, she comes back just a little bit, and she's like, why does my face hurt? And then Eric's, at this point, he's gone through hell and back because he's a dumbass, but he's just starts cracking up. He's like, it's just like, it's so awesome. But
what's the name of the dumbass guy with the glasses?
Eric.
That's Eric.
Yeah.
Okay. I think another part that really got me is when he had been like stabbed in the ribs at some point or something.
Blade.
And he was like bleeding.
Or in the chest,
Yeah, he was like bleeding out actively and talking to this guy like,
it looked,
I let this thing out,
it
whatever.
Looked so real.
And
the way it was like pulsing out.
The way it was pulsing out, and then the way he was like, I know that I'm about to die, so I have to tell you this. Yeah. And it was just something about it was so visceral. And then again, it was a little bit later where he was like, I don't know if I can't remember if he was still like a dead-eyed at that point or just not quite dead yet, where the guy came back to him and he was just like, hey buddy, what's up? Haven't seen you in a second or something. Just complete, like, he was out of it.
Yeah.
He was out of it.
Loss
at
of
that
blood.
point.
He's just like
he was like delusional at that point, and then he finally died, and the guy just kind of like pushed him into the water.
And I think you were in the bathroom. I was telling him, I was like, that's why I think Jane Levy is like so fucking awesome in this, because she endures the horror, she becomes the horror, and then she becomes a badass at the fucking end. It's just like the stages that she goes through, and also, like I said, this is a very, very accurate portrayal of somebody that's like on a drug addict.
Yeah, I was about to say there's something, like, obviously I don't know personally, but I feel like there's something like some kind of message in it or something about just like she fought through withdrawal, and she fought through like this thing, and it's very like parallel or kind of a not a metaphor or a simile, but something kind of like that.
Yeah, and even I think it reflects in what the abomination looked like. It was her.
Yeah, like she's fighting her demons.
Her demons, exactly. Yeah. So it's so good. But no, and her line delivery, I think it just makes it so creepy in that scene you guys were talking about. She's like, I think there's something in here with us now.
And she was trying to, like, she kept
like,
her voice low. She was like, I don't want it to hear me. Yeah,
it's chilling. And even when he first comes in, he taps her on the shoulder. It's just, she peeks over.
That like, it got me. Because it's like, it's kind of a jump scare moment, but it's like not really if you're like paying attention or whatever. But like, when we were watching it, it like actually maybe like tense a little bit, because she like overreacts like so crazy when he touches her. Oh my god, it's
but all right, cool. So moving on from Evil Dead 2013, we're going into the final up-to-date film that has released, and that is Evil Dead Rise from 2023, directed by Lee Cronin. And so this is also if you don't count Ash vs. the Evil Dead, which is also a television series, but as far as films wise, this was another 10-year gap. So this is the first time also as well that the film does not take place in the cabin. It takes place in this apartment complex, and so when you guys seen the first trailer too, just like, what was your first reaction? Because I was like, oh, they're not doing it in a cabin, they're actually doing it in an apartment complex. So
I'm gonna be real, I wasn't sure what to make of it, and I was like, I have to wait until we see what the actual film comes out to be, because I feel like anything I like that gets revisited nowadays, it's like you have to be wary, because you don't know if they're going to take a sudden like left turn and just like turn it into slop or something. But like this, I was excited for a new Evil Dead film, but I wasn't going to be able to like let myself have it until like really sitting down to watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's valid.
To see what it actually ended up being.
Yeah, you keep your guard up naturally.
Yeah. And but no, it was first off, we got it. It was confirmed by Lee Cronin, but anyways, we are revisited by that there was 3 Necronomicons in the world. He ends up finding one of the Book of the Dead and one of the volumes, that is, inside this bank vault that was caused and split open the ground because the earthquake ends up hitting the apartment building. And it was and it is confirmed, Lee Cronin did say it, and also Bruce Campbell said it as well, this is the book that attacked Ash and was flapping around and had the teeth. So this is that volume is what's in this thing.
And it had the teeth on the side, too.
So it was really, really cool how to modernize it, but also at the same time they were like, that's the book that fucking attacked him.
So I this won't play into some of the questions later, but like revisiting this, I remember the first time we went to see this.
Yeah, all three of us.
All of us.
We
went
to
the theater to see this.
That's right.
And I was like, I wasn't super hot on the Necronomicon design in this one, but revisiting it now, I was just like, I liked it way more.
Yeah, it's got veins in it.
Yeah, and I liked that the veins led to the teeth.
I like that a lot.
And I loved that it was like the blood activated, like almost like a lock on a diary, and it like the teeth unhinged and it opened up. It like it was a pretty cool design, and I actually appreciated it a lot more this time around. I really liked it.
Yeah, and we'll talk about when we talk about Evil Dead Burn. I want to talk about that too, because I have a theory about that book. But no, it was triggered by Danny because he actually cut his finger on one of the actual teeth or whatever when he was trying to get it open.
Yeah, it fed
and
the
you
blood
see,
into
and
it.
it feds into the cover. It was just like,
And
that's so cool.
that's a thing too. I can't remember what the last thing we had watched before. I think it happened in. Because it happened in the Evil Dead remake. I think Eric accidentally nicks himself.
Yeah.
On something and drops blood onto it, and it also absorbs.
Yep.
And
because the barbed wire. I think it was barbed wire or something.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was wrapped in barbed wire.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then of course in this we actually get confirmed too that once again going back to you have the Kandarian demon from Evil Dead, the 1981. You have in Evil Dead 2013. You have the Taker of Souls, which is the Abomination. You have this, and in this movie we have the Marauder demon. So it was really cool that I'm like, okay, so they're going with that. And then of course when Ellie, when she gets possessed and all that stuff, she also has the yellow eyes. So it's not the full white eyes.
Dude,
so,
she's so creepy in it.
Looking back at having revisited that just now, it's so crazy because the previous one, the Evil Dead 2013, the design elements of that, I feel like a lot of that, it was before Resi 7, wasn't it?
What, the
Resi 7 came out
Rise?
Evil Dead 2013.
Oh yeah, 7 was way
Yeah.
past that. Yeah.
7 was way past that.
It was 2014.
So I feel like there were a lot of. I'm sorry, this is kind of a.
No,
side,
you're good.
But like it feels like there were a lot of design elements for like stuff that happens in like Resi 7 and the way things look that got taken from 2013 Evil Dead because of like the idea of the Necronomicon being like wrapped in like black plastic like trash bag and then barbed wire. That feels like it like aligns so much with the design philosophy of like the way props look in Resi 7.
Like the Baker
It
House.
always makes like
the Baker House
stuff.
itself is like
It's like a mix of like old world and also like modernized trash stuff like stuck together to make something.
it kind of gives that like hilljack backwoods demon possession. And I think that's essentially
really
Evil
that.
Dead in a nutshell. So I can see that.
Yeah. But Rise, I really love that prior to them finding the Necronomicon, there had been a story, like an urban legend of the building about like the old bank vaults and like
the guy who hung himself.
Somebody who hung himself. Like I loved that the whole opens up, and that almost gives like, especially for like a teenager, it almost gives this like backing reason of like I have to explore this.
Yeah.
Well,
how could you not?
Well, it also too, it makes sense for the kid Danny because you see the state of the family. Is they said that the building is set for demolition.
They're moving out in a month.
And there was just like, and then the dad left and all that stuff. It's not part of the family. It's like
they're
desperate for something for money and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So you see a bank vault, you're just like, what the fuck? You probably some money down here.
And they had even said after he had gotten the book and his sister was like, you don't need to have this. And he was like, yeah, but maybe it's worth something. We could sell it for money to help mom out. Like,
yeah. So
he had good intentions.
And that, man, I love the setting for Rise.
The apartment.
I love, and again, it almost feels like there's this weird thread of sensibility for like some of the stuff that happens in the Evil Dead franchise and also Resident Evil of like these like
there's inspiration there.
These old dilapidated settings and aesthetics.
Yeah.
And like the building is like simultaneously like beautiful because of the time period and like the extravagance of how it's designed, but it's also like so run down and it's like falling apart.
Yeah.
And then the earthquake happens, but it's just like it's such a simultaneously beautiful and creepy aesthetic. Yeah. I think that's something that's really interesting to see because I feel like they balance that really well in the Resident Evil games as well, where they like make something have like aesthetic value while it's also unsettling.
Yeah. Well, it's it's just kind of almost like the Deadites. Is like when they possess the person, you just start seeing the vessel deteriorate away, and that kind of represents in the building already. Because that book being down there, it makes me wonder. Did that evil like even come into the building?
Come out into the building,
deteriorating and shit. Yeah. So it's cool. But,
like, was the earthquake natural?
Was
the book ready to be found? Like, what was the deal there? You know.
So, no, and when he finds it too, he also ends up finding vinyls with it that are labeled 1923, and then come to find out these three priests try to translate it, and then of course we get a Bruce Campbell cameo.
Yeah, he does the
which
voice,
is,
right?
Yeah, he's like, it's called the Book of the Dead for a reason. A lot of people wonder too, is that Ash jumping through time? Like, because there is comic book series and stuff that he jumps multiple times, not just
where
Army
he's
of
been
Darkness.
like reincarnated as a
he just like
part
he's
of the prophecy.
he's used
time.
a book in like comic series where he's jumped through different time periods, not just Army of Darkness.
So it's always the same Ash.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of people are like,
the way I took it was that it was just a fun cameo inclusion.
Too. Yeah,
but like that would be really, really interesting though. One thing that was crazy too is I don't think I really attached to it that much the first time we watched it, but watching it again this time, all the like religious iconography they put around it in the vault, like it was almost supposed to be like act as like a ward.
Yeah,
to
the shit that's like
stop its power from like going out and like grabbing influence or doing anything. Like the big fucking cross that falls down and all freaks out Danny, but also like all the hanging ones. And
it was different religions too.
Yeah,
it was
so
just like
cool.
it wasn't.
They're just like it was like how you see it in like Japanese media where they stick the talismans, like hundreds and hundreds of paper talismans.
You gotta keep this shit at bay.
To, like, keep the curse at bay. It was like that, and it was so cool. I really liked it.
Yep. And then this is really inventive and very cool. Is the any little way that the book can be released or whatever is he pops on one of the vinyls, and instead of somebody actually reading from the Book of the Dead,
it's playing it out
plays
loud. I absolutely loved that as a trope, that he was like a DJ, or like he had a whole DJ set up in his room or whatever, and then it was like, I'm gonna play this out loud and see if I can like make something cool out of it. And it's not like he's not intentionally releasing these demons or something. He's just trying to be creative and like do a hobby or whatever, and it just casually happens to release this shit.
And it's basically like starting it up, and there's no way you can turn it off now, is because
it gets stuck.
Yeah, he goes to hit the fucking he actually physically grab the record, but it's like it just still keeps it still keeps like rotating and shocks him. And then he goes to hit the off switch, it's not working. And then of course, we finally see that Ellie, which is their mother, played by Alyssa Sutherland, that she gets possessed coming out of the elevator.
And everybody in the movie did a great job, but I feel like she specifically she's
the MVP for sure.
Knocked it out of the park.
She's the MVP. She's awesome. And I loved it too, because in her possession to replicate the vines from the original Evil Dead of the tree attacking or whatever beforehand.
Oh, the elevator.
And they use the cables.
Wires. Yeah, the cables.
So
I really liked that.
Such a cool repeated motif.
Yeah.
And also, they played into the whole thing because those elevator cables are like razor sharp.
Yeah.
And when they wrapped around her arm, they started twisting and
see
like
the
cutting
blood
her.
and shit.
And it was so crazy.
Yeah.
I loved that sequence, but I loved that, again, they just like, they write so many things that in a lot of other movies would be considered throwaways. They write it into the DNA of how these things work and how the Deadites work and how the evil works. It's so cool.
And like I said, shit's hitting the fan too, because she comes in after she's been finally a Deadite is taken over. She goes into the kitchen and starts fucking cracking the eggs, and then I love it too because
I literally have to look away at that part, because there's like she throws one down, there's like blood coming out of it and shit, and I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to eat eggs after this.
And that made me wonder too. I'm like,
that.
Is the Deadite so evil that it's actually the yolk is turning into blood, but also she got fucked up in the elevator, so that made me wonder if the blood was just coming off of her.
No, it was like in the egg.
In the egg,
sure.
okay.
I think that was the intention.
I like to think that
in the egg.
I think it's the evil corrupting.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think it's the evil making the yolks go bad.
That's got to be it.
Yeah, and then she gives one of the coldest lines too. Is she's like overheating, so they take her to the bathtub, and they start up the cold water and all that stuff, and they get her in the tub, and it starts boiling.
Yeah.
And
she's like convulsing.
Yeah, and then she just fucking lashes to the ceiling, and then gives out this fucking evil shriek roar, and it's iconic too, because like it does like the pan shot, and she's screaming, and then she falls right back into the bathtub, and then slowly the hands come up, and then she comes up, and she's like, "Mommy," and she's like, Mommy's sleeping with the maggots now. And I'm just like, fucking hell, man.
She had a few line deliveries like that were kind of like highlights for me. That was definitely one of them.
Yeah, and probably the most iconic one from the actual movie of Evil Dead Rise is because they ran with it in the marketing as well, is the iconic shot of through the peephole. Mm-hmm. And it's just her like looking in the peephole and stuff like that, because that was everywhere. Like it was in all the marketing.
So scary.
Yeah.
It was really creative though. Like what cool shots, and it wasn't even just for like a shot or two. It was a whole ass scene
montage. Yeah. And the thing is too, it also really flexes of how fucking powerful the Deadites are. Mm-hmm. Like that's the reason why when you see all the way back to Ash and everybody dealing with this shit, like body dismemberment is the only way to get rid of them, because they're fucking dangerous, man. Mm-hmm. And
well, and that's what's crazy. Like even then, it doesn't even kill them.
Yeah.
It just makes them physically unable to attack you. Like that's literally the only thing you can do is like make them physically unable, because it's like all of their bits are possessed. Like they will still come after you. It's crazy.
And and then the final one too, I thought was a really crafted, creepy scene. Is she, instead of letting the record speak out loud to tell you what's going on with the Book of the Dead, to avoid that, they put these earphones on. Mm-hmm. And what was it? Beth puts these headphones on to listen to the record. But there's a cat that the neighbor was looking for earlier in the film. Is
up in the vents.
Yeah, Ellie is possessed by the.
And Ellie's like, "That's a good idea."
She's like, she looks over the vent and she's like, "Oh, okay." And then so anyways, it's just a front shot, and like I said, I'm trying to describe this in audio format, but it's just a front shot of Beth with the headphones on, but you see like blurred out a little bit in the background. Is a little bit blurry, but you see the vent door just fucking hang open, and then you see her crawl on the fucking wall, and I'm just like, fucking hell, man. So it's good shit. But no, and you take it away, Chloe. Alyssa Southern in this film.
Oh yeah, she was an MVP. She had a few lines in it specifically. That one you said earlier about like mommies with the maggots. Man.
Yeah, mommies with the maggots now.
Her delivery is so good.
Yeah, and she's like sweet and innocent mom too at the beginning.
And then she says this heinous shit.
Yeah.
And when she's about to she's trying to lure in the little girl, the youngest one, and she's just like, "Mommy wants to cut you open and wear your skin," or whatever.
I loved
insane bullshit.
I loved the family in this one so much that it made it hurt all of
the characters were good.
Yeah, it made it hurt so much more because they were all such like interesting, cool, fleshed out characters and people, and I was just like, no, I want more time with her as a normal human being before she's a Deadeye. Yeah. God damn it! Like,
you were really sold on the family, and you're just like, it's such a good, like, healthy seeming family unit, and all the characters are so well rounded, and you love their relationships and the interpersonal stuff. And then everybody dies. Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, because even the kids aren't safe.
Yeah, and I felt bad for Cassie. I'm like, now granted, Beth is part of the family. Obviously, that's her sister.
Dude,
but and
poor Cassie.
Cassie,
she was already the little girl.
The little girl. Okay.
She was already a weird kid. And then, like, she has to see all this shit happen. I was just like, you are now a certified weird girl for life. Like, he will never be okay. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Like, and then, of course, at the very end, while we get the Dead by Dawn chant, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And, oh, shit, I forgot to say that. No, 2013. I was watching the commentary getting prepped for this podcast. He's like, if we don't take care of Mia, we're going to be dead by morning or whatever. I'm like, that was the part where they should have said Dead by Dawn.
It would have been too on the nose.
I know, but it would have been awesome.
There were a lot of, like, really cool, like, subtle callbacks in that, though, too. And, like, what you were talking about earlier with the, like, Ash talking to himself like, we just cut up our girlfriend with a chainsaw. I don't think we're fine. He was like, she just cut her arm off. I don't think we're okay. Or whatever. Like, there were so many, like, subtleties to it. And in a way, I loved it because it made me think, like, it almost feels like a lot of the stuff that's happening, because there's a prophecy aspect with Ash.
Yeah.
It almost feels like a lot of these events will, like, play out in very mirroring ways in the vacuums that they happen in.
Exactly, yeah.
Where it's almost like everybody is being sucked into the prophetic playing of the events, whether they like can or not, like, you know, no
whether
matter
like
what they
not.
do,
Yeah.
it's gonna like sort of play out in a similar way.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really neat.
And then
I think that's cool because the movies, as they like go on, can modernize it more or just like play it in new ways while it's still following the same. I don't even want to say formula because that doesn't sound fair.
Yeah.
Well, does it? It's like, I think the approach is so ingenious.
Yeah.
Because
it's vague enough that you can switch it up, kind of.
All you have to do is have like a couple key points in some of these like isms that play out throughout the runtime. And as long as you do that, you can still be super original with it, super different. But as long as these few key points and checklists are hit, you've got a fucking Evil Dead film. Like, and I think that is so cool. I can't wait to see what they do with Burn.
And then they give the Dead by Dawn chant, and then they get the elevator that fucking gets filled up with blood.
The blood
that was crazy.
Insane.
Yeah.
And the big like Shining homage to that.
Yeah,
and like how it literally, that's what's so cool too, is because there are certain times in the movies where something like that will happen and it will be a hallucination. Like it will be a dream or something.
Yeah.
But in this instance, it was real. It was just like real blood, because it hits the capacity limit for the elevator and sends it plummeting down to the bottom floor. And it's literally just the fucking volume of blood that saves them from being destroyed when it like hits the ground level. It just bursts open and they Shining elevator scene splay out into the garage level in the basement. And it was so crazy.
Yeah, and it was pretty cool because there's once again I'm referencing Ash vs. Evil Dead. There was a character in there that actually gets swallowed up by the cabin, and then it spits all the bones and stuff out of her. Whatever. It's a really cool kill in the show. But that's what I kind of felt like with, instead of replicating the cabin, and instead of their bones spitting out and stuff like that, is basically the building is just spitting them out and just like all that blood. So
I think that's the thing. I think that's the reason that I think this franchise has been as successful as it has, and why it has so much longevity, is it because it feels like there's always a healthy gap of time between every entry.
Yeah.
And the people who are actually making the films, it feels like they know not just like the source material, but it feels like they know a rounded idea of the full franchise as it exists currently.
Yeah, there's a blueprint there. So,
and then they put little isms and bits from like all kinds of different media into the next thing they do. And that just, to me, feels like such a strong point. It feels like everybody that's had a chance to take a knock at this, like, they've all seemed very passionate.
Yeah.
And that's what I love, because so many of these movies, I think, the longer-standing franchises, they die because people are like, oh, it's a big deal that I get to do this.
It's a recognizable IP. I can make a quick check.
But I don't give a shit about Halloween. Or, like, I don't give a shit about Friday the 13th. But, like, it's I get to make a Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Like, it's
they're
like
fans.
But, like, the people who are making Evil Dead, it feels like they're really, like, doing their homework at the least. They're
Absolutely.
doing their homework.
Yeah. So far, it all has seemed very quality controlled, and I'm a little bit nervous that there's, like, more and more Evil Dead movies coming out, because I'm like, I don't want it to lose that.
Yeah, and well, it makes me think too, because Sam Raimi, he said, that's what makes him so fucking awesome as a filmmaker, but also as a human being, is, I won't say names, but you see filmmakers too that like tear down other filmmakers and say, oh, that sucked, blah blah blah, and hey, how can I be a filmmaker or something like that, and then they give like a never meet your heroes kind of response, like fucking I don't fucking know, blah blah blah. But no, Raimi has said from the beginning, and it's still true 50 years later, and he wanted to uplift filmmakers. He's like, I made these films, I want you guys to believe that you can do this stuff. And he's like, look, I fucking took a camera, we went out in the woods and we made something.
And I like that he's doing that now, because he'll produce anything. Like, he'll give money to any fucking movie, which there are some misses out there, but just the fact that he's so supportive and so like still in the scene and contributing
that's
to
what's
it is
fucking
good.
crazy though, is like I mean I've had issues with like the like Sam Raimi being attached to anything stuff for a bit, but like at the same time, he really is just this kind of persona where it's like, I feel like at the end of the day, he has never lost the magic of being a movie goer as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, it feels like he has always kept intact.
He's still that
this
little
whole
kid.
like, movies are supposed to be fun. They're supposed to be a vehicle for entertainment.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let this turn into some like ridiculous thing that turns into a slog that's not fun anymore. It's always going to be fun. It's always going to be silly. It's always going to be zany. It's always going to be whatever I want it to be.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's one of his biggest strengths as a filmmaker and a producer, is like the willingness to just be the guy that's like, oh, I believe in your project. I want to see a fun movie.
Yeah.
And especially like the Evil Dead franchise too being his baby, and that makes me wonder too is that he has the liberties of like like Lee Cronin and
Fede Alvarez.
Fede Alvarez, and then you have now with Evil Dead Burn, Sébastien. Hopefully I say his name. He's a French filmmaker. Vaniček. Is Sébastien Vaniček.
The French guy?
Yeah. And, he finds this...
Might get some new French extremity shit in
there. And it's just like he finds these filmmakers and stuff like that. It's like, I've never even heard of them. And then he's like, he just has that eye. He was like... And also, like I said, Evil Dead is his baby. And to be like, hey, I see something in you that I know you can bring to something that's very important to me. Yeah. And I'm going to give you my baby, take care of it, and all that stuff. So it also... make it your own. So it's just
all of his interactions and stuff, like they seem like they're so
genuine,
heartfelt, genuine, and human in a lot of ways. Where like he is a decent name in an industry that is like pretty dehumanizing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so it's like it's crazy that he has maintained that throughout his entire career.
Yeah. It might just be like parasocial projecting or whatever, but it almost seems like at this point he has become the person that he like wished that he and his crew could have had during his early days, like as a
like somebody
late
who
teenager,
had
early
the
20s,
means but actually cared.
Yes.
And wasn't just like jaded by the process to the point of being like okay, how much money is this going to make me? Like that
exactly.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's honestly spot on. Because, like, man, I wish back in 1979 when I was making a film, I had that Sam Raimi.
Be the change you want to see in the world, Sam Raimi.
Fairy Godfather or whatever.
Yeah, that's actually a really, really good definition of what he is. And, it's so certain. But no, closing out Evil Dead Rise, we do have the Dead by Dawn chant at the end. It was really cool as the elevator closes.
I really liked that.
Fills up with blood,
really cool.
and then boom, the Shining montage. They come out in the thing. Now
the whole final scene in the garage.
Yeah, it's rad,
crazy.
And also,
she got the chainsaw.
Yeah, and shout out to Lee Cronin to the setup because it actually makes sense. There is actually a wood chipper down there because one of the neighbor owns a tree business.
Yeah,
so that's where you get the chainsaw and the wood chipper and things like that.
So crazy.
But what did you guys think?
Dude.
Because I've seen like people hate on it and stuff like that, but the Marauder is born. It actually gets a physical form with her two kids.
The combination.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty cool. I was like, man, there's some weird shit.
I kind of wish we got a better look at it when it was put together. But besides that, because I think it would have been some nasty, crazy body horror nonsense, and they kind of obscure it for most of the time that it's actually on screen. But I thought the idea was really awesome, and I loved that. Yeah. And also the entire basement sequence when they get down to the parking garage is like so good. I couldn't believe it's still really like ramping up the tension, right? It's still really like fucked up and scary, and like you want them to get out, and they're like trying to get out, but there's shit going awry, and they're being pursued by this creature. The thing that got me was we were watching it and she had the shotgun ready, which again, like the shotgun and chainsaw thing.
Yeah.
Like the Ash thing.
The duo.
But like her having the shotgun ready, like come at me, like come on. And then it just chucks the fucking live chainsaw at her. That was so crazy. I thought that was like so funny because in a way it almost plays like a visual gag because it's so over the top. It's like funny, but it's also just like, who wants to have a fucking chainsaw chucked at them? That was crazy. And that, god damn it, that kill when she picks it up and shoves it down
right
in her head, that was crazy too. And just like the thing with the wood chipper when it starts showing like from the interior of the car and you see the blood rain hit the windows and you get to hear the sound of it hitting the windows.
And then you see
so
at
good.
some point that Cassie was like cowering somewhere, but she was getting directly
She was getting
hit.
like dripped on by
She
the
was
blood
covered
coming out
in
of the
blood
machine.
also.
Yeah, her own family is just like...
It's brutal.
fucking
Yeah, it's like
brutal.
It was,
the
it
blood
was
of
awful. It
her,
was so down,
the
dude.
blood of her siblings and mother. Like,
Yeah,
what
and
the fuck?
but like when they were like about to finally leave and get away, when she was like wait and like stopped and picked up the chainsaw because it's like she's not sure if it's really over yet.
Yes.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
I loved it so much.
Yeah, and then like, I thought what I called it the Marauder Deadite is what the 3-person combination was or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. I was like, yeah, there's some freaky shit in that book, man. And I'm just like,
I really liked it.
and I thought, yeah, go for it. And it's funny because I listened to the commentary of like Fede Alvarez and them. Is he originally was going to have Mia and all the other members of the group like fused together, and I think Lee Cronin knew that and had a conversation with Fede, and he was like, I'll do that in Evil Dead Rise or whatever. So I thought that was really cool. I don't know if it's for sure, but
also just going back to it because of the stuff that happens in the book, it's like the book keeps flipping to like the thing that's going to happen next. I mean, that's been a motif in
it's
seven,
alive. Yeah,
but the artwork that they commissioned for the book in 2013 and the book in Rise, oh my god, they're so good.
They're so good, yeah.
They're so good, and they do the big blow-ups where they show them in like the credits for the movies. Oh, they're so awesome. I love it so much.
I'm still so disappointed because at the time I went to go pre-order the vinyl, the collector's edition of that, and it sold out before I could get one, but it was the interior artwork was inside the vinyl of all that shit. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was so fucking sad that I didn't get it. But anyways, no. I saved it.
Sorry, this is such a sidetrack.
Yeah.
I really wish, to this day, I wish they had done a physical pop-up book for the Babadook.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That would be cool, yeah.
Because
Does
that not exist?
No. There is an edition that looks like the book and opens up, but it doesn't have all the cool pop-up art in it or whatever. But, like, the book prop in that is just so cool. I'm such a sucker for art props in movies where it's, like, hand-drawn kind of stuff. That, you know, like, that's my deal. But, like, that's, I think, why I'm so into the Necronomicon is, like, because it's all this, like, super cool handmade thing. Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, and then, but no, I wanted to save it for the end because it actually is the opening scene of the film. Is she grabs a chainsaw, they don't know if the evil's gone, they leave the building and stuff like that, and then you realize that
another girl comes down from another
Jessica
apartment.
comes down and fucking boom and gets hit, and then that's when you realize. But now that was the ending scene, but we'll open with the opening scene, which is, like I said, I hope this is a trope now that they have these fucking epic openings for these new Evil Dead.
Opening where like the ending leads back into the opening.
Yeah.
Dude, and that was such a masterful opening because it took place at a cabin.
Yeah, so it's like
in the woods.
Fake out.
Yeah, so it's like it kind of does like the Evil Dead thing before moving into the other thing, but then it feeds back into itself at the end.
And the title card is like brutal.
The title
when
card
she comes
was
floating
crazy.
up out of the lake,
floating out of the water, and it's coming up behind the tree line.
Yeah, I bought the Arrow of Evil Dead Rise, the Arrow box set, or whatever. That's the cover of her coming out of the water, and I was like, I gotta get that shit. So
that's amazing.
But no, it was really cool because they did a nod at the opening too to the 1981. Is the girl sitting there reading Wuthering Heights. And she was like, she starts quoting the book.
She's quoting the book line for line where she's reading it on the page.
Oh my god.
And it's like the same as the card thing.
Like saying she wants to be inside and I cut you open and all that stuff. And I was just like, oh fuck. And then once again, Deadites are fucking dickheads, man. And she goes out there and it's a fake out in the opening because you see this thing and you think it's the entity coming through the woods and stuff like that, and you realize it's the drone.
It's the drone.
Yeah, and then she comes down.
Yeah, that was so cool too. I loved that they did that because it felt like a really tasteful way.
Yeah,
to
and
add,
again, it's
add a
modernizing it.
Yeah,
I'm such a sucker for that kind of a thing. How can we like keep this going?
But the thing is, like a lot of times, I think when they try to do that in movies, I think it's always like shit.
Yeah,
I don't
or
like
ham-fisted
it. Like
or
I think
something.
it's silly as fuck. That one
It
was
pulls it
so
off.
good, and it pulled it off so well, and it really got you until the end where it's like, oh, it's a drone.
Yeah.
Like right there, and oh man, there's not even a part of it that made me like question it as a design choice. It was like such a cool idea to like do that.
But no, oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. The thing, going back to the book thing, it reminded me of Evil Dead 2. I don't think we've probably brought it up on a previous podcast or something, but one of my favorite like jokes is when they use books to their advantage, like in Evil Dead 2 when Ash had the copy of Farewell to Arms.
Yeah.
And it was like he
Yeah.
it was it was shot a couple times in it, or like displayed where you were like, LOL.
Yeah, it's so
foreshadowing.
But no, that it was funny because the girl was like,
the humor has always been so good.
Yeah. And the boyfriend said Jessica didn't feel good. That's why she's let there lay in the bed. And then, of course, the girl comes up there and she's like, because he almost hit her with the drone.
Yeah, she's like, your boyfriend fucking sucks.
Yeah, and he's like, and you need to, you either wake up in the next half hour or I'm leaving because that fucking mindless meat puppet out there. and then when she, the fucking Deadites take form, she falls off the side of the bed. And then she comes around and she was like, who's the mindless meat puppet now? When she grabs her. Yeah, fucking scalps her.
Just by hand. Grabs her braid and pulls her fucking head off. It was crazy.
I think that scene was so well done also because, like you were saying, when her sister or friend or whoever it was first saying, like, your boyfriend's a mindless meat puppet, she hasn't been taken over by the Deadites yet on the bed, Jessica, and she just kind of, like, laughs at that because she's playing like she's asleep the whole time. And then she's like, haha, and it's one of those cute little friend bonding things, like, oh, okay, like, we're cool right now, or whatever, like, you're good. And then it goes into the Deadite shit where she recites the book and then, like, uses that line against her as she's about to, like, rip her head off.
Also, it's funny that it was
out.
Wuthering Heights because, I mean, I haven't read it myself, but, like, whatever passage they were reading was, like, crazy and brutal.
And you can
and
twist
like,
that to
since
dark.
motherfucking when? Like, there's so many, like, silly BBC adaptations of this, like, show where it's just a funny little period drama. And I'm just like, this particular passage was, like, crazy. And it had all this, like, bloody nonsense going on in it, and she's, like, reading that specifically, and I was like, damn, okay. And, it's so good.
Yeah, like, but no, she goes outside and then drops the fucking the hair that she just scalped her, and then she comes up, and just comes up and then takes the drone blades and then sticks it right in her face, and then she falls in the water, and then once again,
dude, one of the most brutal things about the Deadites that I love is the fact that they'll just like self-harm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like really egregiously. And it's like she's already a Deadite. There's no reason to do that. And it's just like, oh, I just want to.
Well,
I just want to do it. And just like runs her face into the fucking thing. It's like fucked up. It's so scary.
And it's never been confirmed, but it's also a disturbing thing to think about as well. Is I wonder if the inner person can feel that. And it's just like the demon's like,
they're doing it to torture them.
Yeah,
because they still have a corporeal like feeling to the things.
And she's like, they're
body.
torturing their soul basically. And and like I said, Deadites are dickhead, man. They feed off the soul,
and they're still
pain and fear.
And they're still like the people in there are still self-aware too, because in Rise, the mom, what was her name?
Alyssa Sutherland.
Ellie. She was like saying all this awful shit. It was like right when she had first become possessed, and then she snapped out of it for a second. She was like, "It's inside me."
Yeah.
And then goes back into it or whatever. So it's like she's in there the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, the thing I love about the writing for the Deadites too is that obviously they're still in there, but when stuff like that happens, is it them toying with the people by by letting the person come through to say something?
The hopefulness, or
is it them?
Is it really them?
Just looking down in there and being like, "What are your emotions?" And then being like, "Oh, I'm gonna use. I'm gonna
taunt you."
Yeah.
Or like, it's like, or do they just make it up completely and it's just a ploy?
Yeah,
like it's and that's what's like so scary about it. I always think like, I'm not super scared by supernatural horror really, but like there are three things that I've always thought of as far as these kinds of movies go that like have really fucked with me, and it's been Deadites, Cenobites from Hellraiser, and demons from like the Italian demons movies, like because they're all the same kind of thing. They're these really like visceral body horror, gore oriented, like fucked up beings that are like, it's all about like pain and torment and torture and like attaching to the character and doing awful things to your psyche, because they feed off of like your pain and your fear and your it's so it's so crazy.
Yeah, but to close out Evil Dead Rise, like she hits the water, and then of course her boyfriend jumps in after, and you just see the fucking all the blood come to the surface. I'm like, he's fucking toast. And then honestly, one like not just not just Evil Dead Rise or whatever, but one of the most iconic shots in like I would say all the franchise is she comes fucking levitating out of the water, and I love that the title sequence doesn't come up behind her; it comes out of the
behind
trees.
the trees,
yeah,
like way background, way
it's just like Evil Dead Rise. I was like, holy fuck!
So
it's so good.
Cool.
But
oh my god!
All right, anything to add for Evil Dead Rise?
I love it.
It was good.
I love Evil Dead Rise. I love it.
Yeah.
We rewatched it yesterday, and good God.
I forgot how much I had loved it.
It's such a good goddamn movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I think that, like, Ellie obviously steals the show, but I also really liked Danny and the characterization. Fun. And it was just, like, dumb trans teenager representation.
I really liked Bridget a lot, too.
Yeah. They all did.
I liked everybody. I thought they had like amazing characterization.
Everyone was well rounded. Also, shout out to the fucking cheese grater.
So
there were a couple scenes where we were watching it,
that.
and I was like,
Chloe could not watch.
I literally had to cover my eyes a couple times because I was like, I saw this in the theater.
I'm
saw
so excited
it once.
for Burn. I'm so excited.
I saw it once, and I don't need to see it again.
Yeah, and but all right, that's all we had for Evil Dead Rise. All right, so now moving on from Evil Dead Rise, we knocked out all the films. So I thought something that would be really fun is we do some cool little Evil Dead questions for the Evil Dead films. And Chloe, I'll let you take this first question away. So, and also to the viewers that watch the video and stuff, make sure you comment below your answers to these same questions. All right, so question number 1 is your favorite Necronomicon or the Book of the Dead design.
I wasn't prepared for this because the order you texted us the questions in was different. So I was like mentally prepared for favorite Deadite. You got to start with Silus on this one. I'm not ready.
Dude, my favorite Necronomicon. Well, here's my thing. I want to give a little bit of reasoning here because I feel like in every subsequent Evil Dead iteration, it has looked like a cool ass prop or a cool ass art object. The original Necronomicon from the first movie looks like something I do not want to fucking touch.
Yeah, it's so nasty.
It's so
it's
gross. It's so gross looking. That is my absolute favorite by far, just because it looks like something that you would really find in real life, and it looks like hellishly nasty. And I think my runner-up as far as the more designed ones go is the Necronomicon from the 2013 Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Because that one looks the most plausible, as if something was actually grafted and stitched together from human skin. Like, that one looks like the most plausible as far as, like, it supposedly being bound in human flesh. Like, that one looks like exactly what I would want it to look like, but, like, the first one, oh my god, it's so nasty looking. It's such a scary book.
All right, and then Chloe, you ready, or you want me to take it?
Yeah, no, you're good. I really like the Army of Darkness, the idea with like the 3 different books. I thought that was really cool, and I liked that they were kind of more their own character in it as far as interacting with Ash and just pulling off some bullshit.
Yeah.
But as far as the actual design itself goes, all of the like original ones and then the remake and the show, everything was good, but I kind of want to give some appreciation to the Evil Dead Rise Necronomicon, because it obviously, it's not like there's not a face on it. It doesn't look as much like it was made from like skin and like flesh and blood and stuff, but it has some really cool motifs in it, like the teeth on the edge or like the side to open it up, and then the one thing I specifically like are the veins that are coming out of it.
Yeah.
It gives like Dead-eyed, it gives the Walking Dead, you know, zombie kind of an appearance, and I appreciate that, and I like that they kind of went against the grain and tried to do something unique and original with it.
Yeah. As far as Manorhang, I kind of I should have restructured this question as well. I actually I'm going to give my answer for my favorite cover of the Necronomicon, and then my favorite inside like interior art.
Okay.
And you guys can chime in too if you want to take that second answer as well.
Yeah.
Is my favorite cover is Evil Dead 2. It's just like a fucking face coming out of the front of it. I love that design. I've always liked it. If I ever think of the Book of the Dead, that's immediately the first one that pops in my mind.
Yeah, and I think it's the one that's like referenced the most if Evil Dead, if the franchise is like riffed on in other media.
You need to get the bound versions, like
I've seen
the releases that they did.
The replica one.
He's got one of them.
Cool.
Which one is it?
Evil
is
Dead
it the
2.
2 one?
And
Yeah.
like you don't touch that thing, right? Because it's gonna deteriorate like shit.
Like it's I wouldn't want to say cheaply, but it's the best replica I've seen of the Book of the Dead.
Yeah.
But it is
unfortunately the material
cheap.
Ages.
Yeah,
and
it's bad.
it falls apart.
Because a lot of that stuff they like have done for really cheap. Like they're not, even though they're official, they're not like.
Well, because they have to do.
They're not going to stand up.
They're making
time.
like hundreds of thousands of units.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, like that stuff's not going to be like.
In the
quality.
And I have to be careful flipping the pages too because the glue is so cheap that they put on it and stuff like that.
Man.
I'll have to let you guys look at it when you come over. But
I've seen it.
And then the other the inside art, interior art or whatever that the thing. I love the one from Evil Dead Rise, which was designed by Jay Torres. I really dig that inside art. It's
the art
terrifying.
in Evil Dead Rise looks actually like psychotic.
Yeah,
it does.
Like it looks like it was made by somebody in the throes of like madness.
The scrawlings in it are crazy.
And just the compositions of the interior artworks and like the one with like the face with all the like it's like spewing like the fucking text out of its mouth and stuff. Like it really reminds me of this artist I really like. I think he's Argentinian that I've been friends with online for a long time. Emiliano Ciolante. He does stuff like that where it feels like everything he does is like cursed. It feels like something that's
psychosis induced.
Yeah, like it's like something that came out of the fucking Necronomicon, dude. It's scary. It's so scary, and like the artwork in the Necronomicon and Rise really makes me think of that stuff. Like it's got such a like.
Do you think there's inspiration there?
Flow to it. Probably not, because I think he's been doing it since before that. But like, it's definitely channeling the same energy.
Awesome.
It's very dark. But yeah, no, I love the interior of Rise.
Yeah, and then shout out to Tom Sullivan who did the cover to Evil Dead 2 as well. That's who designed that. So.
I'm so happy you brought him up because I've kind of been waiting for the right time to bring him up. He's like a regular at this convention we go to, Cinema Wasteland in Cleveland, and I think it was not last year but the year before that. I don't know if you were there, but our friend Bones and I like got caught up talking to him and some other guy that was with him who was also involved in the Evil Dead movie, like the OG ones, and Tom Sullivan is super nice, and he has his like artwork out on display. He has a little like room to himself where he has a museum essentially.
Oh yeah,
and you can go through. That. Yeah, you can go through and like look at some of the. Well, he's there like every year. He was there. Like, he's there like.
Shit,
all
I
the
might
time.
get him to sign my book.
Yeah, come with us next. Yeah, well, it's gonna be the last one, but either way, he makes his rounds in the conventions and stuff. But when my friend and I we were like walking out because we were about to leave, and he was like, hey, look at this. And he had like a prop of the Necronomicon, but it was like a cardboard thing. And he was like, open it up. And we were like, oh, we're allowed to touch it? And he was like, yeah, open the book up. And so we did. And there was like a bunch of candy inside, and he was like, trick or treat. And he was like, take some candy.
That's great.
Anyway,
super cool.
that's my Tom Sullivan story.
Dude, I love that shit. That energy is like
Yeah.
everything I live for. Is like people, they're just like, I want to keep it fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't get big-headed about my thing. Like, I'm just here to, like, have a good time and be funny and do my thing.
Yeah.
And that's what it feels like.
Yeah. But anyway, sorry, go ahead. I didn't
No, you're good.
cut off or whatever.
No, I like that story. It was awesome.
Tom Sullivan's awesome.
I was like, but no, the next question, I'll lead with you, Silas. All right, question number 2. Your favorite Deadite in the films of Evil Dead?
Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy to say. But just because I feel like every entry in this franchise has so much quality control, it's Ellie.
Yeah.
It's Ellie.
No, that's so valid.
She is such an embodiment. Like, she is so fucking scary.
She is.
She is so scary. And I can't get it out of my mind, the images of the peephole scenes. Where she's just like... Come on now.
When she's trying to convince Cassie.
Yeah.
And she's targeting her specifically because she's like a young child who's going to be more vulnerable to that kind of
scary.
thing. It's so scary.
Awful.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's awful. But like her look in the movie, once she transitions, and her eyes. Oh my god, they're so scary. She is like by far my favorite. Even with the old movies. I think if I had to have a runner-up, it would be just the sheer amount of hell that the character of Cheryl had to go through, like the actress had to go through being Cheryl in the original Evil Dead, because her stuff is all the like money shot special effect stuff. Like I mean, she's printed on the shorts I'm wearing. Right?
Yeah.
Like she is the full contacts and all the shit on her face. Like, God, what a fucking iconic Deadite. But like as far as like the full range of the series goes, it's gotta be Ellie for me. She is just like unreal, and that's crazy because I typically I typically side with like OG shit, or like I like source material kind of stuff. But like Ellie is just like she really embodies it, man.
Yeah.
Like she is like a scary motherfucker. Like in that movie.
She also just like she's beautiful. The actress is like absolutely beautiful, but she's
and then she turns so disgustingly scary. Like,
she is like so sweet in the beginning. She's like a nurturing mother, and she's very maternal, and she's just like a good person. It seems like. So then it is that much more awful when she does like get possessed and she's a Deadite and is just
that really
giving this performance of a lifetime.
That really hung on me this time through watching it. I was just like,
it gets you.
Wow, I hate what I just had to see happen to this family, because
this beautiful unit.
Because I liked everybody. I liked everybody so much.
Everyone was so wholesome too.
Yeah,
it was so wholesome.
Yep. And then Chloe, your favorite Deadite.
Listen, I gotta go with like probably the most popular answer here, and I gotta go with Henrietta, just because.
All right, yeah.
I think Evil Dead 2, there was something about it that just like it hooked me. Out of all the movies I had seen, Evil Dead 2 was it for me. So like seeing Ted Raimi in this ridiculous like old lady suit and the like evolution and the shit he was like spewing, Henrietta was just such a good one for me.
Yep. And okay, so mine will kind of shock people, but I'll give the story why. But Henrietta was honorable mention, almost, and I almost with that. And then also, I really like Ed from Evil Dead 2 with the multiple mouths like inside his or whatever. And he dies pretty quick once he turns into Deadeye. He gets hacked up or whatever. But I really like that design as well. It's like very, very fucking trippy, like all these mouths inside one. But but no, mine is actually it's a Linda from 1981. Ooh, and the reason why is because
that's a good one though.
It's always stuck.
I almost picked her.
And it's stuck in my head ever since I was 9 years old. Is Sam Raimi? She's on the ground doing her, and it's so funny you talked about like doing her goodbye, and her head's like bobbing back and forth like really slow.
Dude,
but he does
the fucking song when she sings the song, she's like,
Yeah, oh fucking hell.
that part is so scary.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so scary.
And I've got it on my computer now. It's like it's like the slow panning of the POV of like Ash, and you're watching her and like she's inside the doorway and her just giggling and shit. It's always creeped me out because like her over applied makeup with the wide eyes and she's like got flesh deteriorating away. It's like it fucking
she has like a crazy like doll makeup on where it's like real over the top.
Yeah, it's right. Like oh fucking creeps me out. Hate it. But no,
my runner-up was Linda in Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
Okay. So I loved how like she in the first one she's super non-threatening.
Yeah.
It's like she is just exclusively toying with him.
Yeah.
It's like she won't attack. She's just sitting there being a nuisance in the room, just trying to freak them the fuck out.
Yeah.
And it's like him and Scotty is dying on the couch. He's just like, oh, with tree branches stuck in him all over the fucking place, like about to die. And she's just like, like giggling with her head bobbing back and forth and the freaky ass makeup. Oh my god, it's crazy.
Yeah, what you guys have seen have you seen Weapons yet?
No.
Okay, well without spoilers, there's a character in there that has something that I want to ask Zach Kreger so bad if like this certain character was the look of it was inspired by Linda from the original Evil Dead because there's a person there with over applied makeup like almost looks just like it and I was just like that is fucking creepy. But no, I picked Linda because it just stuck in my mind completely for all these years. Like every time I think of the original Evil Dead, I immediately hear her laugh in the back of my head.
She's
that
scary.
shot. So,
she's so scary.
She's good.
But all right, so and I'll let you lead with this, Chloe. Your favorite kill in the Evil Dead?
Don't mind if I do. So my instinct really, really wanted to, and like at my heart, I want to go with one of the iconic ones that Ash does in like 2, where he's like, swallow this, or you know, whatever, his stupid one-liners. But as far as effective things, I really loved in Evil Dead Rise, Cassie, the little girl. It had been like a build-up where she had the staff when they were talking about the ghost story in the apartment building, and she was still just innocently like, this is Stephanie. She put a doll head on it. Yeah. Because it's very obviously like a little girl going through her weirdo phase,
it was like a broomstick, but it got broken when they were roughhousing, so it turned sharp.
It became like a shank, essentially.
Turned into like a steak.
You don't think anything of it.
Pike.
And then at one point when like her sister is possessed by the Deadite and is like about to kill her or whatever, and like she's kind of the one that kills her. Yeah. But it's this little girl, and it almost felt like an accident, like a
she just held it out in front of her like protect me.
She wasn't really like trying to kill her or anything, but her sister like impaled herself on it, and it almost gives James, I don't know if you've seen like Super Dark Times. It's just one of those like things that it's an accident essentially that's just like heart-wrenchingly awful, and it's like, yeah, she had to kill her sister and it was obviously what she should have done and she was in the right, but it was still just like, if you put yourself in this little girl's shoes, she's just like,
hellish.
I just killed my big sister. Yeah, Cassie is just like put through the fucking ringer, and it's a kill that says so much because it also is just one of those, I think she was the first sibling to die, because
Evil
that
Dead
was
Rise
the first
has bite.
Yeah, it has bite, and that was one of my favorite kills also because it was one of those like, oh, the kids are not safe in this.
Yeah.
And I think that that's always like a turning point for a movie when they establish like, how far are we gonna go? Because there's kind of an unspoken rule where like the kids are gonna be okay.
Kids are off limits.
But if it's a real horror movie, the kids are not safe.
Yeah.
And that's
literally it was only her. Everybody else died. It was crazy. Yeah. I could not believe it. They tore them apart. That was fucked up.
Yeah. Other than like the obvious iconic kills, like that was the one that kind of cemented the most for me.
Yep.
What about you, James?
Me? All right. So yeah, it may be like a cop out, but I'm sorry, but
no,
it's Henrietta. it's
Swallow
yeah,
this.
yeah, and you're right. It's like
That's
when
so
she
valid.
comes, she gets her like you have to dismemberment, and like literally he dismembers her with a fucking chainsaw,
So
and then
good.
of course the final one where he takes the head off and Ash is in slow motion.
I'll swallow your soul.
Say yeah, and then I swallow your soul, I swallow your soul. He's like swallow this, and then boom, it just like
so
it's
good.
the all the stages leading up to the fucking swallow this. It's just like it's good shit, man. So yeah, definitely Henrietta's death and stuff. So that was mine.
That's a good one.
Mine is very long form because most of the kills on these movies are nothing really fucking dies in the right in a,
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
everybody
easy
comes
way.
back.
But it's definitely Eric from Evil Dead 2013.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because
He dies
Good.
like a fucking couple times, it seems like.
good fucking god, what that dude goes through, which
He
good
deserved
for
it.
him because he kind of fucking deserves
deserved
it.
it
Fuck you,
fully.
you idiot.
Fuck that.
He gets the fucking syringe to the eye.
Yeah.
It breaks his glasses, and it's like
Oh, that was
he
good.
pulls it out of his skin under his eye, and then his eye's all swollen up later. That's fucked. Then the fucking nail gun.
Nail
He puts
gun.
his hand up, and nail gun nails through his goddamn arm, trying to block his face. That's fucked. And then the crowbar.
Crowbar,
When Mia
yeah.
comes with the crowbar and
I thought it was a
breaks-
hammer. Oh,
she breaks his hand, and it's
brutal.
like it's split down the middle. The fingers are all bent. It's all busted up. And then he finally comes down and like saves David, and then just finally succumbs to.
well,
his
no, he got
injuries.
stabbed with the fucking the box cutter.
Yeah. He got stabbed with that. He finally succumbs to his injuries in the basement, and then David just like drops him in the water.
Yeah.
And that was like,
I
oh
love
my
that.
god! Like everything he went through was hell.
Yeah.
And that was like one of the longest quote unquote kills I can think of
Yeah.
in a movie because it's throughout like the entire duration. And god damn, he goes through so much. But like, yeah, Eric's death was like insane. It's
kinda
Evil
satisfying,
Dead
though.
2013.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
And
sad.
then-
I like when blonde men are tortured.
Unless, and then I don't know if you really count 'cause he was possessed and stuff like that. And then he got his ass blown up with the fucking gas canister, like the
Yeah.
So it was just like done.
Yeah.
But no,
His ordeal in that movie was insane.
all right. But so question number 4, Chloe, I'll leave with you. What is your favorite quote that's not groovy?
I feel like I feel like with this question you should have put like a handful of quotes where they're like, what's your favorite quote that's not like groovy or any of Ash's like cheesy one-liners? Yeah, so my natural instinct is to go for one of Ash's silly one-liners from 2 or Army of Darkness, but I'm not going to do that. Other than that, my favorite line, because it was very impactful, was in the 2013 remake. I don't know if the line was in the original or not because I didn't get a chance to rewatch it. It's not? Okay, Silus just confirmed that. I was asking him about it earlier. That was the one movie I didn't get a chance to rewatch, but in the remake, there was some part where it was a Deadite like torturing somebody, and he was like, your sister's getting raped in hell.
Yeah, it was Mia.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like,
Mia to David.
It was Mia to David.
yeah.
Which is like her brother.
Yeah.
Come down here, pretty boy, let me suck your cock. And
Yeah.
he's just like, what's wrong with you? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you're my sister, blah, blah. And she's like, your sister's getting raped in hell.
Yeah,
It's
it was
crazy.
one that stood out for me. It was very much like, this is how people felt watching The Exorcist or something when like Reagan was spewing all that crazy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
very much gave that like punchiness of like, oh, they're not fucking around. Like they are going straight for blood.
And The Exorcist kind of hits that high point too with how extreme it goes with some of the dialogue.
Especially for the time period of The Exorcist. That's
for
what,
that
yeah.
time period.
Well, it's creepy too because like Mia comes up between her legs and she's like, "I could smell your filthy soul
Yes!
down here," and I'm like,
I
oh.
remember thinking that too. It was very like,
Yeah.
oh, this is racy. This is
Silas, what is your favorite quote that's not groovy?
Man, it's gonna be weird with my ranking later, but it's from fucking Army of Darkness.
Yes!
good, bad, I'm the guy with the gun. That shit is iconic.
Yeah.
It's so fucking hard.
It goes so hard.
My runner-up is the scene with Ellie in the kitchen in Evil Dead Rise, where she's just like, I had a wonderful dream where we were all together and I slid open your bellies and crawled into your bodies so we could all be a happy family together forever, or whatever. That shit was so scary. But as far as like cool factor and my like top one, it has to be the Army of Darkness one, but my secondary is definitely Evil Dead Rise, because like I love the like
That's valid.
really fucked up scary Deadite lines they've come up with ever since they like really leaned into it over the years.
Yeah. So my runner-up, like comedy, my quotes are like just comedy, and they almost all came from Army of Darkness. It was Swallow This, which was from Evil Dead 2, almost was a runner-up, and then also Yo She Bitch, and then and it's just so funny because it's just like executed so well, and when it's so badass too, because it like when he cocks the bear on his eye, let's go.
It's just so funny because it's like, it's almost an oxymoron in the way he delivers it. So it's like, she bitch. Like, what are you
Yeah. Well, it's funny
he
because
could
like
have just said like bitch or something. But it's like, yo, she bitch.
I love
Like,
it.
it's so funny.
And it's like, it's funny because like the Deadites talk shit too, and then Ash is like, fuck you, I'm gonna give it right back. Yo, she bitch, let's go. And then but then Come Get Some was another one, and then my final one I landed on was well, hello, Mr. Fancy Face. He's like, you ain't leading anything.
He
but
said,
two
"You're
things."
king of two things right now, Jack and shit." And
Jack just left town. I love that line.
Crazy.
Army of Darkness was like the one movie we didn't get to as far as rewatching, and I think it's because I rewatch it so much.
Yeah,
but now I'm
it's
just
so
like,
good.
as soon as you leave, I'm like, let's watch Army of Darkness again,
It's so good.
just to finish it out.
But all right, cool. All right, so here's our final question of the Evil Dead. Your favorite performance that's not Ash and Silus?
Dude, Scott.
Okay.
Scott is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, he is such a, like, I think he really, I'm not, obviously, like, Bruce Campbell has been, like, the guy through the series, but, like, in the first movie, Scott really goes for it.
Yeah.
And he's really present. He's really, like, the most outward, like, machismo force.
Yeah.
As far as, like, characterization goes in that movie. And, like, the way he gets put through the fucking ringer is, like, fucked up. It's, like, it's genuinely affecting. Like, I thought it was really sad because, like, his death was, like I said earlier, it's, like, the point where you're like, oh, wow, Ash is alone now. He's alone with whatever happens to him next. Whether that be, like, Scott getting resurrected or anybody else coming back as a Deadite or whatever. It's, like, it's him. And, like, his performance in it was like one of those things where it's like, even though he's kind of a fucking cunt through most of the movie, it's like at the same time he seems so capable.
Yeah.
So then when he comes back and he's been like bested, he's been like super defeated, and he's like on his deathbed, like ready to go, and he's beat the shit, and he's like, Ash, it's alive, the trees are alive, they know, or what. And he sits down on the couch and he's like bleeding out, ready to like go. Like, that is like, it's so defeating for the audience.
Yeah.
Because they had this like guy who was just like the hot shot, ready to fucking take it on no matter what happens kind of guy, and then he comes back like, no dude, they got me, like, I'm done. Like, and that is like that's like a turning point in the film. And also, like, I didn't mention it earlier, but like the last third of the Evil Dead, just the constant sound of the wind is so,
and
like,
you hear the flies in the background.
yeah,
too.
it's so scary.
Yeah.
It's so upsetting, and it's so just like, it feels like all these evil forces like congregating and working on Ash in real time. And it's like he's constantly hearing this like barrage of like the wind and the fog outside like hitting the cabin, and it's just like such empty space with him muttering to himself under his breath and just like of the wind. And it's so scary. It's so scary. But like, yeah, Scotty, I was so sad when he died. Like, even now revisiting it, I'm just like, this dude's kind of an asshole, but like, goddamn, was he like the one that wanted to fight back?
Yeah.
And then he got his ass handed to him.
Yep.
And it's so sad. It's so fucked up.
All right, Chloe.
For what was the question?
A favorite performance, but cannot be Ash.
Yeah, not Ash. Mine was, honestly, it was probably Mia in the 2013 remake. I think that she really captured that, like, going through it and also terrified but trying to fight. Like, she had some fight in her.
She was so good.
She was so good, and her performance, Silus had brought it up earlier when she's like, she's still the only one who has really seen any of the creepy shit going on, and nobody believes her at that point. And she's like hunkered over in the bed, and she looks awful. She is pale as shit, like big bags under her eyes. Like, she looks like she's been through the ringer.
Yeah.
Which she has, but nobody else realizes
just the terror in her eyes.
And the way she's like trying as hard as possible to silently communicate with her face while saying as little as possible to not like give it away, where she's like, there's something in the room with us.
Yeah.
It was terrifying.
Yeah.
And I think she just, I think she did such a great job in that entire movie.
Yeah. Well, that's funny because Jane Levy as Mia from 2013.
Was that yours too?
Yeah, that's mine
shit.
too. Yeah, I
stole it.
Yeah, and like Chloe said too, and I think the different stages as an actress that she had to tackle, I think she just aces because the struggling of a drug addict as the character, and then also enduring the horror, and then she becomes the horror, and then she becomes a complete badass at the end. So the stages that she takes as developing as a character, those performances are met with aces as well. And like I said, she even got the fucking iconic "we're gonna get you" and all that stuff. Man, just fucking aces, man. She just aces all around.
I can't believe we didn't mention it. The box cutter to the fucking tongue.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh, it looks so crazy.
What a fucking scene.
And then she was
awful.
like moving both sides of her tongue around.
It's so bad. Oh god.
Twisting it around.
Oh, it's so awful.
It's brutal.
But yeah, she kills it. Jane Levy was just awesome, and then of course her and Fede went on to work together again in that "Don't Breathe" movie. After that,
I haven't seen that still.
It's excellent.
I really like "Don't Breathe."
But, yeah,
I haven't seen the second one.
But yep, she's but yeah, that's all we had for the Evil Dead questions before we move on to the ranking. But yeah, let us know down in the comments too. Like I said, the questions were your favorite Necronom Book of the Dead design. You can say cover and interior art as well. And then question 2 was your favorite Deadeye in the filmography. And then you have your favorite kill in the Evil Dead filmography, and then you have your favorite quote that cannot be groovy, and then you have number 5 is and the final question is your favorite performance that's not Ash. So yeah, so now going on to this one, like I said, you can just rapid fire them off or whatever, but we're actually going to give our personal, and once again, I'm throwing out personal, chill out people, this is just our personal ranking of the Evil Dead films. And the thing is too, before we say this, we asked at the beginning before we started recording, we love all the Evil Dead films. They have such a a specialness to them. We love them all.
Every single one.
So don't let this ranking fool you. Just because something's lower doesn't mean that we're belittling it or stuff. It's just, unfortunately, that's where it lands in the power ranking of what our personal ranking from them is. So who wants to take it away first?
I want to take it away.
All right, go ahead.
I want to take it away
5-1. Hit us with it.
Mine's going to be a little.
Oh, sorry. Let me get you one quiz. And the films we are ranking and all that stuff this far is The Evil Dead 1981. We have Evil Dead 2 in 1987. Army of Darkness from 1992. Evil Dead Rise from 2023. And then the 2013 Evil Dead. So, all right, take it away, Silas.
I think mine will be a little contentious.
Okay, I'm excited for that.
But it's not. Again, I love all these films. I love what they add to the flavor. But I am such a sucker for the pure, brutal, dour, down in it vibes of the original Evil Dead. So mine is going to be number 5, Army of Darkness.
Fuck you.
Number 4.
Eat shit. Divorce.
Number 4, Evil Dead 2.
Fuck you. I'm leaving.
And this is what's been flip-flopping for me all goddamn day and night. I've been trying to suss this out. Number 3, I think it's gonna be fuck me. I think number 3 is the 2013 Evil Dead.
All right.
Number 2 is Evil Dead Rise.
Nice.
Okay.
And number 1 is the OG.
Okay.
1981.
Damn.
The Evil Dead.
Hell yeah. All right, Chloe, take it
I
away.
liked that.
5-1.
That tickled me because it was very much not
What I expected. Yeah, I liked it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like, you always go against the grain with shit, or, like, you happen to be like that, but I don't know.
I like the brutality.
No, that's
gotta
bad.
be brutal.
I figured the OG was going to be your
when
number
we were
one.
rewatching yesterday, I was trying to figure out which one's more brutal. Is it the 2013 or is it Rise?
Or the OG.
Which one?
Yeah.
And that's my 2 and 3 slots were constantly shifting. I was like, I don't know. And then we rewatched Rise, and I was just like, this awesome family and these awesome characters who I love getting torn the fuck apart
And tortured.
It really just did it for me, because you don't get as much background in 2013
Yeah.
as far as like their relationships go. It's like there's a little bit to infer there, but you don't get like the bond as much as you do in Rise. Because in Rise, it's just like they're literally like blood relation kin. Like these are their daughters. Like,
and it's a good family too.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah, I don't think they did like Mia and David. I think are the most fleshed out characters in there and stuff like that. It's just with Natalie being there and then Olivia and stuff like that. I don't think those characters got fleshed out very well.
I kind of wish we got more. Literally, even just a line or two. I wish we got more of Eric.
Yeah.
Because I wish that there had been some sort of thing to explain, like, why he was so
retarded,
obsessed with this book. Because he was a teacher, right?
Yeah.
And he also had like the look of like a bookish guy for the time. Yep. And I was like, I wish that there had been something where they talked about like, oh, he had also
like
done
a historian
some
or
sort of like research, or he was a historian, or he did some sort of thing where it's like he was obsessed with like old texts or historical documents or whatever, because that would have made it like you can infer it a little bit, but I wish that it had been a little more concretely stated, because I wanted to like understand why he was dipshitted enough to do what he did.
Yeah.
Because good God.
I'm gonna switch the rotation too. I'm gonna take it away because we know you guys know, and pretty much anybody that listens to the channel, what number 1 is for me. But all right, so I'm gonna start at number 5. At number 5, and once again, re-quoting what Silus said as well, and all that stuff. I love all the films, so don't let this ranking fool you, because I really do love all the films. But coming in number 5, I have 2023's Evil Dead Rise. Like I said, I really liked it. Like I said, Silas already highlighted a bunch of the stuff that I loved, and I'm absolutely 1,000% agreeing on all that and stuff. But there was a couple like horror tropes and stuff like that in it that I think was originally like Lee Cronin, but also there was some of it that just felt like a little studio. But like I said, but I still fucking love the film. It's still brutal. But coming in number 4, I have the 2013 Evil Dead. Absolutely loved it. It blew me away. When I first seen it, I was like, yeah, after a 21-year hiatus, and then this is what we come back to. It just felt so awesome to be with it, and fantastic performance by Jane Levy, and I loved it because Fede Alvarez made it the Evil Dead, but also he made it a Fede Alvarez film and stuff like that. So I really dug that, and then of course the fucking massive carnage that's in that. I'm like, yeah, they just capture the spirit of Evil Dead. Number 3, I have Army of Darkness. It is just fucking, I still think, not trying to be biased, I still think it's one of the funnest films ever created in cinema. I think it's just a blast from beginning to end, and like I said...
Dude, that is such a fucking, like, rite of passage film.
Yeah.
Like, that's something that, like, I saw as a kid because it was a rite of passage film. It's just like, you're gonna watch Army of Darkness because you're ready to watch Army
and you're gonna fucking like it.
Yeah. And it was like my stepdad and my dad did that.
Yeah.
Like they were like, it's Army of Darkness time. like it was one of those things.
It's its own cult movie.
Yeah.
And then number 2, I have the original OG 1981's The Evil Dead. Just one of the most inspirational movies. It made me want to become a filmmaker, and that's just a special film. And if you ever talk about a horror Hall of Fame, that's a first ballot Hall of Famer right there.
Shout out to the lack of continuity in that movie. It's so funny. When Ash gets sprayed in the face with a bunch of blood by Linda's corpse, and then he gets up and walks away back to the cabin, and you get that wide shot from a head above of like Linda's corpse on the ground, and what's obviously a mannequin head from a shop. No features, no hair. It's got a bust. It's got like the shoulder piece, and he has no blood on him. After he just got sprayed with blood. Good God, it's so fucking funny, and I don't even fault it a bit, because it's so good.
I love it. And then, of course, at number 1, I have Evil Dead 2. It's just, I think it's masterpiece from beginning to end. It's
the goat.
One of the, it's just awesome. It really felt like the franchise found itself of what it was, and like I said, don't get me wrong, the 1981.
It feels like Sam Raimi found himself.
Yeah,
he was.
And
man,
he made a strict horror movie with 1981, which is a fucking masterpiece. But this one, it felt like, okay, this is Sam Raimi. This is what he. I don't want to say, because that sounds deserving, saying that this is originally what he wanted to do, but then you see the future movies of what he made and all that stuff. You're just like,
it's like 2 and on is like Sam Raimi.
Yeah. It's just
the first one is just like, I'm ambitious, I'm young, I'm doing stuff. 2 and on is like where he came into himself, and like, dude. Watching Send Help was so fun, because it's kind of surprising. I've listened to a lot of stuff about that movie, and I've seen a lot of people be kind of disparaging as far as like the CGI and stuff goes in it. I took it as like pure stylization, pure aestheticism. It felt like it was purely like what Sam Raimi wanted it to look like, and it felt like he was going for something that was going to connote what he did way back in Drag Me to Hell.
I got so many parallels with Drag Me to Hell.
Exactly. And I thought, I was like, at no point in this was this a point of like, oh, we couldn't have done better. It was because he wanted it to look that way. He wanted it to be like that. Oh my God, so good.
I love the CGI boar too and everything else, but also it was like practical up close when she was stabbing it and it squirted.
And it was gross and fucked up and stupid.
It was absolutely insane.
I loved it. I loved how ridiculous that whole segment was.
I
want to watch Send Help right now. It's so good.
I love Rachel McAdams. I loved how weird she got in it, and I hope that her and Sam Raimi work together even more in the future, and she keeps doing these crazy bizarre roles,
because she's so cute and sweet, and James, you've seen Game Night, haven't you?
I love Game Night. So
I love Game Night too, but she's such a sweet doting wife kind of character.
You get sucked into the propeller, and she's like, "Oh no, he died."
So seeing her in Send Help was so funny, because it was the way they made her seem so unattractive in the beginning. And then when she's on the island, it's like she thrives. She comes radiant into herself, and she's radiant. And it's so funny.
You have to listen to
I
me.
love it so much.
You have to listen to me and Michael Spoiler Talk, because we were talking about that too.
I am excited
they tried so hard to make her unattractive, but she's just Rachel McAdams gorgeous.
She's just too pretty,
But all right, Chloe, power ranking, close this out.
So I'm gonna I'll go against the grain a little bit just for funsies, and I'm also gonna go from top favorite to least favorite.
All right.
I'm gonna go the opposite way just for funsies again, and also it doesn't even mean anything, because I feel like my ranking of these movies literally just changes depending on what mood I'm in.
Absolutely,
the time of day. That's how nothing burger of a rating this is, trying to pit them against each other, because they're all so special in their own way. So my top movie, for realsies, I fight between these two movies, but I'm gonna put my number one at Army of Darkness.
All right.
Ooh. Okay.
I don't know. There's something about it. It just
No, I
me.
get it.
We get it, man.
It's for the girlies. I don't know. Evil Dead 2 would be my number 2 or my number 1 on certain days, just depending. One of those things. After that, I'm going to put the Evil Dead, the 2013
All right.
version.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
It's just brutal, and I feel like it pays a lot of homage to the original and kind of does what it wished it had the budget and the ability to do, you know, for the time. And I think that it pulled it off really, really well.
Yeah. It came close because now rewatching and revisiting before we did this podcast, I when I rewatched 2013, I almost put it at the 3 spot over Army of Darkness. Obviously I didn't, but it was just like I'm telling you, man. I think
it's a powerhouse.
I think
a strong entry.
and I think that's the shining example
And that's crazy.
of how to do a remake.
Yes.
It's crazy to
If
think
it's a
like,
remake or reimagining, but I think like if you're modernizing something, a horror movie for a classic, that's the prime example of how to do it.
well, that should be testament in and of itself that it almost took the spot.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Like that's
It's
what
so
it is,
good.
yeah.
It's that it packs that much of a punch.
Yeah.
Under that for number 4, and again, like it's number 4 feels unfair for it because I like it so much. So again, these ratings don't really mean anything to me personally. But after that, I have Evil Dead Rise.
All right.
Woo!
I thought it was really good. I don't know. It got me. And then, and again, this is just day to day. The last on my list is the OG Evil Dead, but I think it's because that's the one movie out of like rewatching them all again recently. It's like the farthest one out in my memory because I didn't get a chance to watch that one. So like, if I did, this list might be totally different, and if it was a totally different time of day or time of the month or whatever, like it might just be different. So.
Yeah, dude.
That's just my ranking.
The OG Evil Dead takes me to like a place in my mind.
Yeah.
And like there's nothing like watching that movie in the wee hours.
Oh, I
Like,
can
good
imagine.
God, it's so scary.
Yeah.
It's so oppressive.
Yeah, I was upstairs and like we had the lights on because Jessica was recovering from her surgery, so I had the bed in there and she was asleep. So I had all the lights off downstairs and I was watching Evil Dead and trying to reach. I'm like, I did this a couple of times, like looking over my shoulder. I'm like, fucking hell, man, this thing's fucking scary.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
it is like,
dude,
and I'm 35.
That's what's so crazy about it. It's like the original Evil Dead has a lot of issues. It does not detract from the horror.
Yeah.
It does not detract from the horror at all.
If anything, it elevates it. 'cause
I
it's
can
just
literally
so
sit there
raw.
and like, yeah, exactly. It's so raw. It's so, oh god, the energy of it is like, it's so harrowing.
Yeah.
It's so harrowing. It does not get easier to watch with age. I almost think like the more I watch it as an adult, the more I'm just like, good God, I should not have seen this at the age I did. Because there's something about this movie that feels like legitimately evil. Like, it's so scary. It's such a scary movie.
Yeah. But, yeah, guys, that's what we have for our power ranking. Of course, like I said at the beginning, make sure you put your own comment below your own personal power ranking. Of course, just the filmography of the Evil Dead. So you're ranking the Evil Dead from 1981, Evil Dead 2 from 1987, you have Army of Darkness from 1922, you have Evil Dead from 2013, and then you have Evil Dead Rise of 2023 of what's released so far. And then that is going to lead us into the now future installments that is coming into the Evil Dead franchise, and we want to do like a little pre-game discussion of the upcoming release of Evil Dead Burn, which comes out on July 10th, 2026.
Dude, I am so excited.
Yeah,
I'm so excited for this movie.
I'm amped. And just a heads up, this is directed. It's not Lee Cronin. It's not Fede Alvarez. We have a new director stepping in the director's chair, and this is Sébastien Vaniček. I think that is how you say his name. So I'm just calling him Sébastien from this point on. But I believe it's Sébastien Vaniček. He's a French filmmaker. And if you haven't seen his first film, that's called Infested. Definitely check that out. Excellent horror film. And I'm very excited. And me and Chloe were actually talking in private before this is once again makes my heart warm and stuff like that. Is in an interview, Sébastien talked about that his trailer that he did for Infested was inspired by the 2013 Evil Dead movie as well. So it's like structured just like that trailer because that's, you know, he's an Evil Dead fan and stuff like that. So once again, it's very heartwarming to see somebody that's in love with the franchise as a fan is actually and fuck you, man, in the best way possible. I'm so jealous that this man is just a fan that gets to direct an Evil Dead film. I'm like, come on, man. That's radical. But yeah, we just watched the Red Band trailer. It is out now. And I don't know about you guys, but this is probably only going to be the only trailer I watch. I'm fucking Evil Dead fan. I'm going to be there opening day. I don't need to see any more. I'm just going to save it. But as far as this Red Band trailer and all the little infos and stuff like that, for this pregame or whatever. So what'd you guys think when you seen the Red Band trailer?
Dude, we need to go see it together. I am so fucking stoked on it.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I don't even care. I don't even care if the trailer gave away a lot of good parts.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, it doesn't matter. I know what I'm looking for in an Evil Dead film is viscerality.
Yeah.
It's brutality. It is the constant one-upping the insanity moment to moment.
On your senses.
A barrage on your senses. It is an amazing fucking franchise, and I rarely have hope for a lot of new movies that are coming out, but this one I have hope for. I'm very hopeful for what this turns out to be, because Rise was so it just delivered. It delivered on everything I wanted it to be, and that's very rare for me to feel that way. So, Burn. I have faith.
Yeah.
I have faith now. I rarely have faith in a lot of newer directors and old heads that are producing them and whatever, but like this one, it just looks like the kind of movie where I think it's gonna actually be what it needs to be. Mm-hmm. And God, I'm so excited for it. I'm so excited for it.
All right, Chloe.
Yeah, I'm
your
also,
first reaction to the Red Band trailer.
Yeah, the trailer looks awesome. I have high hopes for it. At the same time, I'm kind of like, I was holding my breath with Evil Dead Rise, and I was blown out of the water by it. I'm still gonna do the same to this, just because of the fact that they are like now making new Evil Dead movies quicker than I guess they did before with the 2013 version.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want it to turn into one of the franchises that gets milked. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, the direction it has gone in at this point, its track record is definitely quantity over quality. Like, I think Silus, you mentioned that before. So, like, I've got high hopes. Yeah. And I'm hoping, based on everything we've gotten before, that it's gonna be great.
Yep. And once again, like I said, I know this is a pregame, and I know there's so many people that's gonna be like, Jesus, James, you're working way too much into that. But I'm an Evil Dead fan, so I'm fucking hyped as shit. So there's some details that dropped with the Green Band trailer and the Red Band trailer that they released. I thought it was very interesting because, once again, this could be a reach. This could be completely not true. It's just a theory out there, and a very cool theory that if it's true. But if you watch in the trailer, the Green Band trailer, there is you have the son that ends up being at this funeral and stuff like that, the mom, stuff like that. It shows a flashback of him driving at night, and then he's driving down a back road. It's very dark, and all of a sudden there's a girl standing in the middle of the road. He veers off the road, and then all of a sudden the next shot is actually him lighting on fire and all that stuff. But the thing about it is, when he veers off the road, there's a girl standing in the road, and obviously it's just a flash second. But also in the Red Band trailer, there's a girl standing on top of a boat. And this makes me wonder, are they connecting Evil Dead Rise to Evil Dead Burn? And could that be Jessica from Evil Dead Rise?
Dude, I hope
because
so.
of the lake. That would be...
Yeah,
I hope
and
so.
she's on the boat, and the boat flips, and then there's no blonde in the cast. So who is this blonde hair girl? And I'm like, is that Jessica from Evil Dead Rise?
I hope so. I think that would be so cool if they chose to do that as the connecting factor for the Evil Dead films, because I think the presence, the evil presence of the Necronomicon and the way that it has transferred itself in all the other ones has been so cool. With the way that they've played with that, I think it would be so cool if they did that with this one, where it's just like, oh, it was a transference from what was left over of the remnants of Rise. It fed into this other group that went out, and then that stuff was still there, residual, and it fed into another group somehow.
And that's that's another subject too here in a little bit, that I think that's why this theory overrides that. But staying on this possibly being Jessica, I do think it's very interesting, because if you guys know in Evil Dead Rise, and you guys just watched it, so you're really fresh with it, the Marauder demon that was trying to, he didn't consume that whole family. So, you know, crap, why am I trying to think? What's the little girl's name? Cassie and Beth.
Beth,
right. They both got away. So it didn't consume that whole family. So it was one of those things, too. I was like, okay, is the Marauder demon that's inside Jessica now, it didn't consume an entire family, so it seeks another one. And it starts with this son. And because it's very interesting in the trailer, when the girl comes through the doorway and that's like
its
headrest,
modus
she's
operandi.
like,
it wants to like consume an entire family.
Exactly.
And so it's going to this household. And it's going to like try and consume everybody in the household one by one. Dude, the fucking car
headrest
thing that was crazy.
So fucking, oh my God, it's awful to look at. It reminds me so much of the Evil Dead Rise thing with the scissors up the
going
fucking
up her nose.
nostril. Oh my God, it's so fucked. Oh my God, I can't even imagine. Like, the stuff that's in the trailer is bad enough. I can't imagine what else is going to be in the movie.
And when she pushes that headrest out, though, it falls to the floor, and she's like, "We found you," and all that stuff. So
what does that mean?
I think the first contact is with that son that dies at the beginning, and she's married to him, so she's part of the family. And I'm just like, it makes me wonder. Like, she's like, "Yeah, we found you." It's
New
like
family.
I tracked that. This demon tracked her back. Now, as far as that's just a theory about Jessica possibly coming from Dead Rise, and then that connects into this, and it's seeking a new family. But let's throw it out the window that it could possibly not be not be the Marauder demon. It could be a new demon, because I did see when.
Well, that's what I'm curious about. Did they show a Necronomicon in the trailer anyway?
I got a theory about that. So it's the sketches or whatever, the sketch art and everything, which looks rad, by the way. I love it.
I saw the interior.
Yeah, the interior, and it has this close up, and it really, for a trailer and hinting at the movie, it sits on this one specific image from the interior art. It's this demon with horns, and it's curving from the back, and it's like screaming. But around it has, and I'll cancel this out of why that is. But anyways, it's nothing but the word Estrada. Estrada, all around it. So that makes me, I'm like, is this the name of this demon? Is the Estrada demon? And all that stuff. So, and once again, Estrada is actually part of the speech. So that could be canceled out. Be like, oh, it's just Estrada. But it makes me wonder, could this possibly be a new demon that they're dealing with named Estrada? So that was my other theory about that. But no, like I said, I think the family, seeking a new family and the new demon and stuff like that, it's very interesting, because if you're gonna start connecting this world and everything else, and I was gonna get into a little bit here in a minute, but if you notice too, when they're going through this journal, and I'll talk to Silus when he gets back, but you notice that there's a newspaper clipping in there. It says 3 bodies found in cabin fire. This is the 2013 Evil Dead. So it makes me wonder, is it part of this world?
I've become very I guess I want to say jaded to the idea of franchises and series like going out of their way to connect all of the movies so that they're like intertwined or in their own world or whatever. I feel like it's just become such a popular thing lately that it like has lost its magic and just feels forced. But in this case, so far up to this point, it's just been more like nods or Easter eggs. Or it's been like subtle enough, but it hasn't been in your face. And I'm hoping that this, like some of the stuff you've pointed out, I hope it stays subtle and not too like on the nose. Yeah,
absolutely. Like I said, that can get really, because I think that's what, like, I'll call it out, Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah,
I think they've kind of overdone of just like
beat the shit out of that dead horse.
We have to connect everything, and I think with this one, I'm like, make it its own individual film, and then when you do the connective movies, or in the connective, like the big Avengers films and things like that, you're building off just details that you're pulling from the films.
Yeah, so. and I don't even know if that's like a fair assessment what I've said, because like the Evil Dead franchise, we'll call it at this point, because that's what it is, was doing it before, the whole like Marvel thing. They were doing it back with the original trilogy, and then even to the like 2013 remake. So like I have full faith in it, but at the same time I'm just like, tread lightly with that. Yeah.
And then this is the big one. Okay, so in the Red Band trailer, there is what I assume is they're referencing everything about the Book of the Dead from it doesn't seem like to me it's a Necronomicon, because there's a book that comes out of this like trash, like they tip over something and it falls out of the box. The thing about it is, it looks like almost like a journal log that somebody has been researching the Books of the Dead and the Necronomicons, because the cover of it is just a regular bound journal. It's not flesh and all that stuff. Now the interior art is pretty radical and stuff like that, but on the outside it's not one of the Necronomicons. So I thought that was very interesting, because me and my uncle talked about this as well, and your guys' thoughts on it is, if it's not a Necronomicon, she's still reading the summoning spells from the book. And the thing about it is, if you don't have to have a Book of the Dead, all you have to do is say the summoning spell. That's bad news. So
branch out way farther and just like affect so many more people if all that they're doing is like
just rereading it, or
like having the summoning spells written down and then like rereading them in real time.
And once again, that if this is basically just like a research like log journal that somebody's been studying the Books of the Dead and all that stuff, but it's like, so you have to speak the words, and actually the summoning spell actually works without the Book of the Dead. Or that brings me back to is the reason why everybody in this family is turning Deadites is because it's the Marauder demon is already in Jessica, and there's no need for reading the words because this demon's already out and about. So all that stuff. So that completely cancels that out. But no, we can, and free to jump in, because like I said, we'll be all over the place. It's just the Red Band trailer. But we already got to the brutalness of the car headrest sticking out of her face, and then we got the candle wax fucking shot or whatever.
I love that so much. I'm really excited to see what they do with burn as the subtitle for this one.
Yeah.
Because the candle wax thing was one thing of itself, but there's been a lot of
what else is gonna burn?
There's been a lot of burning in the franchise so far, so I'm really excited to see what they do with this one to make it feel like it owns that title.
Yeah.
And oh god, I can't imagine it's going to be anything pretty. It's going to be awful.
Woof.
And because like I said, that Green Band trailer actually showed the son, like his car's flipped upside down, he's got run off the road, and the entire car just goes up in flames, and he's like burning alive in it. So it's just like one of those things too. It's like, and then also later in the Red Band trailer, at some point, spoiler alert, I haven't seen the movie, but obviously it gave it away that at some point that house catches on fire, because it looks like some kind of shadow. Doesn't look human to me, but something stepping out on the porch from the flames and stuff. So that makes me wonder if that's probably from the third act, is like it's just a culmination of it. But no, I thought that was cool. And then of course fucking Chloe, this is where I fall into the thing of like, I love and bring that back. Like I said, it's just like the Deadites are dickheads. They feed off pain and all that stuff. And you know, the smart ass to your perfect family, and it takes the candle wax shot and all that stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's some Evil Dead shit. Like the Deadites are tormenting you. And then this fucking Deadite is just like creepily walking towards one of the main character from the main actor from the trailer and stuff, and I'll get his name in a second, but she's just like walking towards him, and he's like backing up with a knife, and she's like, boo, and then he like falls back. And boys and girls, I've said it again, this is why you do not put the forks and knives facing up. It's always facing down. And this is why
they don't get clean if you don't do that.
And then he just lands on that, and then makes it even worse is the Deadite girl gets on top of him, and she's like laughing and giggling as he's fucking like pressing down on the blades.
With the
Brutal.
with the dishwasher.
Yeah. That's some like Final Destination shit.
Yeah, Hunter Doohan. That's the guy that she's tormenting. So.
Okay.
But yeah, I loved it because like I said, she's on top, and then you see the fucking hinges break off the dishwasher and fucking hits again, and then you just like, and then she's like laughing and giggling. I'm like, that's what I want. I'm like, that's Evil Dead right there. Like, Deadites are fucking assholes, man.
It's brutal.
So, but no, I anything to add to the brutalness of the trailer, right? Pretty good. But yeah, like I said from the beginning, we've said this through the entire podcast. Just Sam Raimi, his goal from the beginning was to uplift filmmakers, and that's what he's always been about, and it's fucking awesome. I'm just like, it's awesome. And then to see a fan like Sébastien to get to take a helm of this, Lee Cronin and Fede Alvarez, it's just like, this is probably what inspired them to become filmmakers and stuff like that, is films like this. And to see that they get a crack at it, and how uplifting that Sam Raimi is to these young filmmakers to handle his baby is really cool to see. And like I said, I'm super pumped because this is probably the closest, and I've talked about the 21-year gap into the 2013 Evil Dead, and then we had a 10-year gap between 2013 and the Evil Dead Rise. So it's really exciting because we have Evil Dead Evil Dead Rise that came out in 2023, Evil Dead Burn comes out in 2026, and then we have Evil Dead Wrath, which is in production right now, which releases in 2028. And that's going to be helmed by Francis Galuppi. And he did a film called The Last Stop in Yuma County. It's a very underrated film that came out last year. Definitely check it out if you're into like bottled movies. It's very well written and very executed, so I'm really excited to see what it is that. But yeah, anything to add to Evil Dead Burn before we close this bad boy out?
I'm just so excited for it.
Yeah.
I'm just so excited.
Yeah, guys, I'm serious, this has been a blast. I've literally wanted to sit down and talk about the Evil Dead films and stuff like that. And once again, I'll sit down and I'll break down every single one.
Yeah, I was going to say, it'd be fun to just do the individual movies.
Absolutely. I'm totally down.
There's
anytime.
enough to talk about for each of them.
And like I said, too, guys, make sure you go down in the comments and stuff like that, and you let us know your power ranking for the Evil Dead films. Make sure you answer the Evil Dead questions and stuff like that. But if you made it this far in the podcast, I really appreciate it, guys. And before we close this out, Silas, where can everybody find What the Fuck Are You Watching podcast?
Yeah, you can find us on Spotify at WTF Are You Watching. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Instagram, WTF Are You Watching Pod, or WTF Are You Watching Lisa, or you can find me at Psychonaut, and you can find Chloe at...
I'm sure you could find like a carrier pigeon and send it to What the Fuck Are You Watching, and they'll figure out how to transcribe it and send it to you.
Yeah.
I'm on Instagram. I actually don't know my URL. I'm sorry. I think it's Chloe XOXO, and there's a dot in there.
You and Jessica have so much in common because like I was
sorry.
trying to like get her because her TikTok, she does like book reviews.
Oh,
on there.
does she?
I mean, what's your TikTok? She's like, I don't know.
Yeah. You'll find me. Feel free to follow me. I'm all public. I just don't know my name.
Yep.
Find us if you can.
Find us if you look.
Yep. And then of course, guys, a really special thank you to both of you. Like I said, this has been a blast. I was really looking forward to this, and then yeah, obviously it never disappoints, but obviously this didn't disappoint because it just like it was awesome. Like I said, I'm really glad we got it out there, and like I said, the Evil Dead franchise is very special and very inspiring to a lot of horror fans and filmmakers as well, and just any film fans in general. But like I said, I think it's the best horror franchise out there. And like I said, Evil Dead 2 is one of my favorite films of all time because it's just a special films, man. And thank you so much, Chloe Parks and Silas. Thank you so much for joining me for this podcast.
No, thanks for doing this. Any excuse to talk about these movies is always a good time, and another excuse to just like rewatch them. It's been such a vibe.
Yeah, seriously, thank you so much. But yeah, and close this out. Like I said, I always forget. But yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Movie Nerd James. It's at Movie Nerd James is the full username, where I post almost daily. And then, of course, you can follow and subscribe on YouTube at Movie Nerd James YT. Make sure to give this video some love. Make sure you comment like all the stuff I said before. And like I said, guys, thank you for joining us for this podcast. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and we'll see you later, movie nerds.